So if the song's title sound like okay, this is gonna be maybe different. Like
You sleep.
That's interesting, bro.
I thought you turned it over like a tape, like you played the B side.
I pick randomly with these. Like if I see a song title, like I said, it's like, oh, I wonder what Future gonna say to a song title like this. Like I think it was
We Live.
I Lost My Dog or something like that.
Oh, Lost My Dog is my shit. Yeah,
that's my shit. That is bang.
So you didn't listen to Teflon Don?
Mm-mm. I gotta go back and listen to the whole album when I play my.
Yeah, just start at the beginning, bro.
I know this is this is a random title to throw out. It is crazy to say, but Lil Demon hit, bro. You need to be in the whip for that one. You need to be in the whip for that one, bro.
Just start at the beginning, Spike.
I will
start at the beginning.
I'm gonna start from the beginning. What's wrong with the title, Rob? Falcons early season struggles. I mean, Ken did pick the Falcons to go to the Super Bowl, so I can understand.
Hey, so, all of our picks are looking crazy right now.
I was done with one. That was crazy. I had the quickest exit. I picked the Dolphins and the Packers, and Jordan Love had two went down. Like that.
We need a after week 4 a week 4
Super Bowl pick.
Now we're gonna do a quarterly because it's 18 weeks, so
yeah, that's it.
I say by week 6 though. I don't even know about week 4 because that's next week.
I was trying to see how that math was gonna work.
That ain't quarterly.
I know. I'm saying
I saw him stop in the middle. We realized he had to do the math.
I was doing it. I was trying to do it as far as like 4 weeks doesn't sound like it's enough. So I was like, fuck it, let's go to 6. I should have said, let's go in thirds. Let's do
5, 10, 15.
5, 10, 15. Hell no. 5, 10, 15. Nigga, what's that?
You just get ready for the playoffs. After 15.
Because them last games of the season, man.
It be decided in a lot of these races.
Usually them last 2 weeks decided like seeding wise, like who gonna play who, who's kicked out of the playoffs.
I don't know, man. This just seems like it's going a little sketchy for some people. So
I mean, but that's the thing. Everybody in the same damn near boat. Hella teams is 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you apologizing for the Bengals already.
I was thinking every team, but the Bengals in the league is 1 and 2.
I said 1 and 2, not 0 and 3. There's only 3 teams that's 0 and 3. The Bengals are one of them.
Oh man,
I'm not here to be no apologist. I keep it a bean. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what anybody will always tell you that.
That's right, Nick.
Yeah, that's right, nigga. It ain't coming from you. Yeah, I know that for sure, nigga. At least my team can score over 15.
I mean,
at least I should. At least my team got a quarterback.
Hey, I ain't seen him.
Hey. Stats, I would say, you the stats man, Sheldon.
You're right.
You telling me you would rather have Joe Burrow throw it to your team?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. You heard me.
Hold on. So you saying you rather have Jalen over Joe?
Absolutely. Because let me tell you something, people. Let me tell you why I say that.
Start the show.
He said one reason
why I say that. No, it's only one.
Yeah, because you're insane. That's insanity.
Let's see if Joe Burrow is still playing by week 12. There you go. Joe Burrow, I can't count on Joe Burrow to be out there.
And you can count on Jalen Hurts to be out there.
Absolutely.
Well, I put it to you like this. If Joe Burrow had that old line, he'd be out there.
If was a film.
Hey, but we already talked about if he was on that roster. So we've been drinking.
Yeah. So he ain't there. So the fact of the matter remains, he got to make it through a season for me to even be talking about him still now.
Okay. All right.
Silence is deafening. The silence is deafening.
All right. Hey, don't matter.
All right.
Apparently it don't, nigga.
It
It
absolutely
clearly
does
goes to
not.
Shelton.
Nothing even matters.
Absolutely don't matter.
At this
He
point.
on his Lauryn Hill shit right now.
Right.
It don't even matter.
Jesus.
It don't even matter.
All right, man. Let's start the show because geez, this show is already crazy. This is the place where sports experience collide. Dead in sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inge. Joining me on the show, we have Nick, Spike, FIFO, Q, and Shelton. What up, fellas?
What up, though?
Nothing much, man. So let's go ahead and get into the week. It has been eventful. So let's start with the Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs won another close game, this time on the road against the Atlanta Falcons, 22-17. Which offense should we be more concerned about, the Chiefs or the Falcons?
The Chiefs. The Chiefs. Because here's the thing, right? Like on paper, we knew the Falcons were the paper champs. We love the Jesse Bates move, the Justin Simmons moves, the Matt Judon move. But we all question the Kirk Cousins move, and some of us question them drafting Penix, right? So at the end of the day, we knew that they were unproven, but we know that the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to accomplish history by winning 3 in a row. And the way that they've looked with the additions that they had in the offseason, we thought that this was going to be a well-oiled machine, and they're not. Now, the good thing is that you do want to win ugly games in the NFL because you got to have that experience if you're going to make a deep playoff run, right? So I'm not too alarmed, but at the same time, they should look better than what they have because Mahomes is making unlike Mahomes mistakes. And that is what's alarming. Xavier Worthy, he's flashed, and I always talk about the youngins flashing. But at the wide receiver position, it's not just about flashing. When you are a dynamic weapon like that, you should be dominant. And I'm not saying that he's a number one, or obviously he would have went, where some of the other wide receivers in the draft went, but something don't look right. Kelsey has been non-existent. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of question marks that we didn't think were going to be question marks at this point in time for them because we figured that they fixed the issues from last season, and it just looks like it's not where it should be right now.
Yeah, for me, it's the Chiefs too, and it's definitely the Chiefs because they, to whom much is, given, much is expected. More is expected of the Chiefs. They're trying to three-peat. That's their main goal. The Falcons to make the playoffs is their goal. And when you're going for every year, you're playing for a championship, and you're the Kansas City Chiefs. And to lose Pacheco is huge. So losing that running back is really going to put them behind the 8 ball. Plus, you got everybody gunning for you at the same time. So every week, you're your opponent's Super Bowl. So in saying that, you have a lot more pressure to perform. And yes, you have the great Patrick Mahomes, but everybody else is going to have to step up. We haven't seen the same Travis Kelce as of yet. The wide receivers are doing a good job, but they're not perfect yet. And the defense, they play well and they step up big at times, but there's also lapses as well. So, you're getting everybody's best shot. And the Falcons had every chance of winning this game just as much as the Chiefs. So I think that the Chiefs have more riding on the season as they always do.
Go ahead, Q.
I'm not concerned about the Chiefs. Like, what are we talking about? Travis Kelce is not in shape. He'll get in shape. They'll be fine. There's nothing that can make me concerned about the Chiefs during the season. Only if Patrick Mahomes is out for the season. Like, I don't care if they lose every wide receiver, every running back can go down. The O-line could be shitty. They still getting back to the Super Bowl. Vegas not letting them boys lose. They keep getting these bullshit calls. You think Vegas going to let the Chiefs lose? And plus, Patrick Mahomes is already good. So it's just like, come on, dude. Like, we have Patrick. We going to be all right.
I forgot about that.
Agree.
You all right.
Yeah, we did this last year. Well, y'all did this last year, and I was telling y'all that there was nothing to worry about all the way up until the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are 3-0. The Falcons are 1-2. The Falcons were lucky to be in the game with the Chiefs. I wouldn't be questioning either one of them right now because I think honestly the Falcons they performing better than you thought they would, and their division is terrible, so they really ain't got to worry about anybody else. So it's up to them to lose, and the Chiefs are like, you want to see them win ugly games. At the end of the day, the reason that they're as successful as they are, obviously, is because they have Patrick Mahomes. And I never feel like going into the last quarter, if I got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, that there's any issue. We seen him do it last year. We talked about the drop passes. We talked about all the things that were hindering the Chiefs throughout the year and why they look crazy. But then at the end of the year, confetti is falling in Kansas City.
So, Spike,
Yeah.
let me pause you right there. Then talk about why the Falcons, you're more worried about them and why you're not worried about the
That's what I'm
Chiefs.
saying. I'm not worried about the Falcons either. To answer the question, neither would be mine, because I think the Falcons are in a great position. I'm competing with the Panthers, the Saints, and the Bucks. I don't believe in Baker Mayfield. I would trust Kirk Cousins over Baker Mayfield, especially later in the season once he get his legs back up under him. And I think we got better options on offense than Tampa Bay does. If I'm Atlanta, I feel good right now that I went out and competed on the stage with Kansas City. Like I wouldn't have any worries at all, even at 1-2. And again, I'm looking at the rest of that division. Like, come on, we ought to smoke this.
You gassing up Cousins
Pause.
with the I'm waiting for the legs of Kirk Cousins to come back. No one's ever said that before except his wife. But they're like, what are you talking about?
But you got to think, right? The first week, the reason that they lost is because he wasn't able to go into those play action passes that he's most successful from. He couldn't move like he wanted to. Now we're in week 3. He's moving a little bit better. Kansas City has a good defense.
And what does that got him? What did that get him, Lou? He moving better. And what that get him?
They competed with Kansas City. Last year, they wouldn't have been able to do this. Without Kirk Cousins, with your boy, Mitter, it would have been a blowout. so now we got a quarterback who we expect later in the season to be able to move better because he's getting his legs back under him. And I know I can smoke everybody else in the division. We're good.
First of all,
we just went out there. We should have won a game against the Super Bowl champions. They'll sign up for that every year because they probably ain't gonna win the Super Bowls, but they signing up for that.
I was saying, first of all, saying that Kirk Cousins is better than Desmond Ridder is saying what on a Tuesday evening? It ain't saying that.
That's the difference between a playoff team and not a playoff team.
No. I know he was in a bad system. They had to fire the head coach. That's how bad it was. They fired everybody and they got a black coach.
The same coach is undefeated right now with a terrible quarterback as well.
I'm just saying, Shelton, whenever they fire the white man and they hire a black coach, that means that you fucked up drastically. So what I'm trying to say,
I just want to say that same bad coach is right there with another bad quarterback and they undefeated.
Is Desmond Ridder still in the league?
He was in Arizona. He's gonna be back in the league. He's gonna be back in the league.
And DoorDash.
What I was about to say is that I'm more worried about the Falcons, but I will say this about the Chiefs. I am monitoring how they score points. Because I was saying that in our chat that I was like, since the second half of that Bengals game up until one of the touchdowns, I think when Rashid Rice or Juju, Chiefs has only had like 2 touchdowns in like damn near almost a game and a half. So I was just wondering, like, how are they scoring? Maybe it does take some more time. We going into week 4 for them to get their offense together, but it's like they losing, they coming down in points every game. It was 27 first week, 26 against the Bengals, and then now it's 22. It's like, all right, that's not a good trajectory moving forward. But it's the Falcons to me because they coach on the hot seat. I don't know what like that's
he just got hired.
The first year coach is on the hot seat.
Why do Shelton? Has that ever happened before in NFL history where a black coach gets hired and fired in the same season?
Absolutely.
What are we talking about? This is what I'm saying. Arthur Blank literally put himself in the Hall of Fame because he was like, "This is my last year, y'all." So if we don't make the playoffs this year, they firing everybody. And we already know based off the Michael Penix draft pick, niggas is on. They on watch for that regime because they like, bro, why the hell did we pay this white man if you're just gonna draft this black kid that could possibly have started? He could be the damn near doing Jaden Daniels shit against the Bengals instead of we waiting on Kirk Cousins to beat the Chiefs at home. Like, that's my thing. Is like,
you think he's that bad of a coach?
He should have won that game, like you said. Like, I think they should have.
Do you think he's a bad coach? Based off the time in Tampa Bay, the history that you have, you fire him after 1 year.
If the Falcons don't make the playoffs or win this division, then yes, I'm fired.
If they win 8 games, you'd fire him.
Yes.
Financially, that's like a joke. I mean, you don't do that if you're an organization because you just fired Arthur Smith last year. You don't send that message to coaches that I'm only giving you 1 year. After a while, coaches gonna be like, "Fuck Atlanta. I don't want to be there for a year." If you're not gonna let coaches build a program, like they gave Arthur Smith at least 2-3 seasons, at least 2 seasons if I'm not mistaken. At least gave him 2,
Was it
and
more
fans
than that?
didn't like him at all.
All
It might have been
y'all,
3.
y'all make
Yeah.
perfect sense. I just seen how the NFL done. They did Steve Wilkes like that. They did a couple other motherfuckers. They did Jim Caldwell like
That's
that.
not
in
the same
Detroit.
situation.
Wasn't
They
it?
didn't want
They
didn't want Steve Wilkes.
Wasn't
Atlanta-
Steve Wilkes interim coach? He was interim coach.
No,
Yeah,
Wilkes.
they didn't
No,
want
that,
him.
no, they.
No, he
No,
was in
the
Arizona.
Cardinals,
The Cardinals fired
the
him.
Cardinals fired him after 1 year. That's a rarity, and it wasn't right. But what they do, and here's the thing: it goes by according to what it looks like. It's not necessarily just firing them for wins and losses. It's the way your team is playing. And the Falcons are showing up and competing in every game. He ain't going nowhere. Now, if they give up on the coach, and it's like they've turned their back, and we know situations like that, then it's a wrap for you. And that can happen.
And and they watching the Vikings games too. We all got NFL Red Zone. He Sam Darnold post Kirk Cousins era, and they like, hold on, nigga, did we overspend on this?
No,
goofy
see,
ass
the Falcons wanted him though. This was they had the opportunity to hire Bill Belichick. They were going to hire Bill Belichick, but they didn't want to deal with such a strong personality in the front office. But then they pivoted to with the GM that they brought in. They had this whole thing that this is our guy. So they're not going to give up on that guy after a year, regardless of how many games they win.
No,
He could even lose the locker room. They'll still give him 1 more year to see
I don't
what
know
this
about
one
that.
guy,
That
because
part
that's
I
they
don't
got.
know.
They'll give him at least 1 more year. Like,
Yeah,
just
look,
That's they got.
the Falcons are a mediocre franchise, not a horrible franchise, right? Like when they get it right, they get it right. And obviously they went to a Super Bowl in recent memory, and they're typically a pretty good perennial playoff team. They're not the Panthers, they're not the Raiders, they're not a bottom feeder organization. So I don't see the Falcons making a hasty move like that. Now I do see the chat saying that Minnesota's 3-0 post Kirk Cousins. I just want to say I had Kevin O'Connell at number 10 on the top 10 coaches.
Yeah,
That's a good pick.
they're the Hawks.
That was a
They're
good
the
pick.
Hawks of the NFL. That's what they are.
100%.
The Falcons?
Yeah, 100%. They're in purgatory.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're in perennial purgatory, meaning that you're never good enough to win a Super Bowl, but you're not bad enough to get the best pick in the draft to
Right.
try to change your franchise around. So you're cool with a level of this mediocrity to kind of say we're competing, but not really, because you don't really have a chance to win.
My thing is though, is like they should have won that game because he made a goofy ass play call or allowed a goofy ass play call for to on that fourth and not taking the points and also not running the ball up the gut. Who does a sweep on 4th and 1? Like, what are we
He ain't
talking
calling
about?
the plays, man.
But
He
he
the
allowing
defensive
it. You the head coach. You allowing it, bro. If the buck stop with you, y'all about to come
I
at
think-
me with
I think you
Zach
putting
Taylor.
too much-
I know FIFA got a whole Zach Taylor printout ready to go.
But I think you putting a lot of weight on him being black and not being able to mess up. And I don't think it's that. I think they fuck with him. That's they coach, unless he proves them to be wrong. And he ain't done so 3 games into the season. His teams are competing. They damn
They
near
should,
beat
they should be
the
0-3.
Super Bowl
They
champs.
should be 0-3, Lou.
But they're not.
If
That's
it
what I'm
was
saying.
they're
That's the
not.
point. They're not.
I know,
They
they're not.
1 and
I'm just
2.
saying, they're a Sirianni gift shitball.
No, hell
for doing-
no.
They
Sirianni
are.
probably the worst coach in the league.
No, I'm saying like
No,
Sirianni
he's saying that-
Sirianni's so shitty, he gave him a win. That's what I'm saying. If
Yeah,
it was
but
if
he sucked.
Sirianni runs the football instead of pass it, we talking about a 0-3 Falcons, and people like, all right, what the hell we doing with Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins?
I agree
But
with
I agree with that. But they're
That's how
in-
thin that the
the
line
thing
is.
about it though, the problem is not the problem, but the thing about it though is they've been in every game. So in saying that, I think they see the effort. That's what it's about more than anything else. If you see effort and you got a plan in place, they got a plan of where they're gonna get to the next quarterback. If the plan seems like it's working, they see, because Arthur Blank can see. He can see what Michael Penix is doing on the side. He can see the attitude of the team. He can see the fight in every game. When you're in every game, it doesn't matter if you're winning or losing these games, because I'm sure they weren't favored in either of the games that they played this year. So they
It don't matter
technically
yet.
should be 0-3. So it don't matter right now. Now, like I said, they start stinking the joint up and be looking crazy out there. Look like the Panthers look, then that's different. But as long as they're competitive, he's all right.
See, the Panthers look good.
Bro, this is
Only 1 week.
Don't be, yeah,
Long
yeah,
week, bro.
yeah.
Better than they've been looking. They look better than they've been looking. There's only one glaring change.
Hey, I know
Yeah.
Andy. I grew up with Andy Dalton, bro. I know what they.
Yeah.
I know
I'm not
these
saying Andy
games.
Dalton's a savior. I'm saying that he's a mid to average quarterback, and he put up 33 points with that team. So what's Bryce?
But you know, exactly. You know, in the NFL, whenever there's a big move, whether you bench a QB or you fire a head coach, for the next week or two, everybody is everybody feels like their life is on the line. Then they're gonna come back to who they are.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out. You play above your level, and then it's harder to game plan because you haven't seen this man. You don't know what's going on. It's like that. You know for yourself, like when Cooper Rush played with the Cowboys them games, the level changed when Cooper Rush got out there, and it looked like, oh, we need to have Cooper Rush playing, but that's really not who it is. That's just how it happens when you change quarterback. If you got a veteran backup.
Yeah, but it still looked like a functional offense.
Oh, it was better. I'm not.
Don't do
saying
that, Ken. Don't do that.
It was better, but what I'm
Y'all
saying
not going to
is,
sit here and tell me that team did not look different with Andy Dalton under center compared to Bryce Young.
It did. No, it looked different, Ken. I'm not saying it didn't look different. I'm just saying we'll see who they are going forward.
No. We know what the team is, and we know who Andy Dalton is as well. We know that Andy Dalton at some point will reverse to the mean. What I'm saying is that when I looked at that team and when I looked at them, it didn't look like it was a complete organization issue the way that everybody was painting out to be. It looked like it was a Bryce Young problem.
Yes. All I'm saying is Bryce Young. It wasn't like Bryce Young went 0-17 or whatever it was. Like he won a couple games here.
I mean,
he beat CJ Stroud.
He beat
Bryce Young.
CJ Stroud. Yeah, he beat CJ Stroud.
Congratulations.
He beat Jordan. He beat the Packers. They beat the Packers
last season.
Yeah, he beat Stroud and he beat the Packers. Yeah, they exactly.
Yeah, I played Stroud.
It's not like he's. That's my thing. Like I'm shooting Bryce Young Bell because the Panthers are terrible. We see what Justin Fields doing in Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's in black.
You don't even want to give him credit.
That's different.
I've always been a supporter of Justin Fields, so that's why I like his success. I'm happy to see that. Am I happy to see it in Pittsburgh? Hell no. But I'm happy that it's happening. I'm happy it's happening for him in general to show people that he's a legit NFL quarterback. They was trying to make it seem like he was dumpster juice.
Don't say Dave. Say Spike.
He was.
Yeah, don't say Dave. Say Spike.
Let's not act like he wasn't. You're talking about a man.
I'm not.
He's in a good organization right now.
Because he winning more than the guy who replaced him right now, and he looked way better than the guy who replaced him right now.
But Mason Rudolph. He looked better than Mason Rudolph. Yeah, who gives a fuck? Like, what are we talking about?
I'm talking about
the guy. Even Mason Rudolph. Who is that? Is that who he replaced? What's
Don't
he?
do that. Don't do that.
Look,
you know who
look, we saw this last season with Joe Flacco. You know what I'm saying? Look, Andy Dalton done spun the block many a time around the NFL. We know he's a professional quarterback, which is why he's still in the league. He can give you a little bit of that Fitz magic, but this is not a long-term thing. You know what I'm saying? And did he look better than Bryce Young? Of course. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that Bryce Young can't play. It just means that Andy Dalton at this point in his career could go to any organization, pick up an offensive playbook, get it within a couple of days, and go and start that Sunday and look decent at best.
I'm with Ken. I don't think that's the conversation. Y'all are right about that. No one is arguing that. We know what Andy Dalton can do. It's the fact that Bryce Young had so much hype around him. He was a number one pick. You would expect him to be able to run an NFL offense at this point, and he can't. It was very obvious on Sunday that if you put a professional quarterback back there, that this possibly can work. We're not gonna get blew out every game. Then the question reigns is he good?
Lou, he didn't have the hype. It was torn. A lot of people were torn, and then as the season went on, he didn't have the hype. It was torn. They thought it was a mistake. A lot of people thought it was.
Are you saying hype or hype?
Hype. Oh, neither one. But,
that's why I was wondering.
I mean, but you take him.
He did have a hype though. He was a number one pick.
No, just because everybody thought it was a number one pick by the owner. The team didn't even want him. That was a David.
He still was a number one pick.
It was a David Tepper.
You have hype if you're a number one pick.
David Tepper overruled his coaches and his scouts and took Bryce Young. They were wanting to go with CJ. That was the whole plan. David Tepper overruled it. He wouldn't go saw him play. So yeah, he did have a certain amount of hype because he was number one, but he wasn't all hype because a lot of people thought it should have went the other way. And then two, this man has had more coaches in the league than Dak Prescott in this little bit of time.
Lou. If you look at
it,
bro, it
man.
was like it's like from 20, I think it's like from 2018 to now, but like the Panthers, or it may be shorter than that. The Panthers went through like 7 coaches, bro. And if you count interim head coaches and actual head coaches, but they went through like 7 coaches in like the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, ever since David Tepper's been there.
I just want to make sure I understand. Y'all are telling me that if your team had the opportunity to pick him up, y'all would take him.
If I'm Miami, yes. If I'm a Dolphins fan, I'm
the Bengals. The Bengals.
I don't need to worry about that. That's irrelevant.
They got a franchise QB.
No,
they got a franchise QB.
I mean, I think that it's
okay. I'm joking with that, but you saying if another franchise should take him based off what they say.
Yeah, man. You always got to bet on pedigree. You always bet on pedigree. Like it's the same reason why switch to the NBA for a second. People like James Wiseman keep getting like opportunities because the Golden State Warriors drafted him. I think that the trend that we're seeing in the NFL is that the coaching really matters. Coaching truly does matter more probably than any other American sport because you're seeing how I keep going back to those Tom Brady clips, but they're really prophetic where a lot of quarterbacks do not know how to play the position, and a lot of college teams do not have a program to teach quarterbacks pre-snap. Too high safety is like scrambling a lot of QB's brains this season and last season. And if we're just going to be honest, quarterback play has been pretty atrocious across the league, just from everybody. So what we're seeing with Bryce Young, to me, we should bet on the trends. You look at Sam Darnold, you look at Baker Mayfield for 2 weeks, and you look at, there's a name shit. Gardner Minshew can win a game against the Ravens. You know what I mean? So we're seeing that it's situational, and I'm gonna bet on guys like Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield to be the proof that maybe he truly just was not coached right. He needs to get an opportunity, and he needs to get a team that actually wants to build around him and accentuate what he does well. And what does he do well? Everyone in Alabama, including Nick Saban, said that it's not the height, it's not the intangibles. With his physical, it's his mental. He's like really good guy when it comes to film. He understands the position. So if that's what he's known for, and he's struggling to look like a professional QB, I have to bet on the fact that it's organization. It has to be team, and it has to be them not putting enough around him, dude. So yeah, I take a flyer if I'm Miami, if I'm the Giants, if I'm a couple other teams.
Yeah, because to go a little bit further, Q, on your point. Look at all of the QBs that you named, right? Sam Darnold, he doesn't have 4 or 5 different opportunities, but all of those guys are journeymen or they're starting to perform in their second opportunity where, people were calling them a bust. People were saying, oh, they're not worth this. They're not
Malik
worth that.
Willis also.
Malik Willis, exactly. And we know Gucci Man LaFleur up there in Green Bay, he's a hell of a coach. And look at the difference between what Malik Willis looked like with Vrabel. Not saying that he's a bad coach, but he's a defensive coach versus LaFleur up there in Green Bay. Looks like a completely different player. Geno Smith looks like a completely different player.
How long did it take for people to find out that Geno Smith is actually a competent quarterback?
It took him like
not long.
Teams. It took him like 3 different teams. He was on the Jets, then he went to the Giants, and then another team in the Seahawks. It took like 3 teams.
About how many years? 8 years?
Yeah.
It took him about 7 years, man.
7 years.
But sometimes Ken, it's just a situation. Look at Justin Fields, right? Like Justin Fields has his second wind right now, right? He looks.
It's a little early to say that. It's a little early to say that. Ease the brakes.
Justin Fields looks like a professional quarterback.
Yeah, he does now. He didn't last year. That's what I'm saying.
But he's won his.
It's a little early after 3 games to say.
He's won his last 7 of 8 starts. He's won his last 7 of 8 starts.
But Ken, to your point on Geno, a lot of times it's the player too. Geno's very immature. At the time, it took a second for the clip for him.
Like a job broke. He had to get his job broke.
So there you go. But if the player decides in himself early, like, look, I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna get my work done, then it may have not taken that long. The talent was always there. He just didn't have it between the ears. That was his problem.
Yeah, man. I mean, people were questioning Josh Allen for like 2 seasons. Like,
Right.
does this guy? He's throwing a lot of picks. Does he know? Like, can he read a defense? And then that third year, bro, it clicked. So like, we're talking about 3 calendar years for some QBs. Some QBs is 4 or 5 until they really get their stride. But that's not indicative of the fact that they're not talented people. We're talking about a deficit that can even go all the way back to high school, where they were just so gifted and so good that they were just balling out on kids. And then they get to college, they have a little bit of coaching, but they're still leaning on that talent a little bit. And then you get to the league and the talent catches up with you. So now it's like you can't just out-talent everybody. You have to be able to read the defense. You got to be able to read pre-snap. You got to be able to read the film. And if you don't know where all your guys are supposed to be, like Patrick Mahomes is just learning how to read defense last season. It was his 4th, 5th year last season. It was his 6th season.
2 seasons ago now. 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago now. So we're talking about somebody who knows how to win ugly now, and that's just they're winning ugly because Patrick knows what to do. If he didn't understand those little intricacies in the knowledge of being a quarterback, they'd probably lose a lot of these games. Because if he was trying to lean on his talent solely, he's like piecing games together towards the end. That's IQ. I can't expect a 5'10" QB to do this by himself, you know?
Yeah, let's move to the Ravens. All I'm saying is Bryce Young looked awful out there, and all I heard was a bunch of excuses. And a guy get out there that actually knows how to play the game, probably run it, and he looks fine. So, and the team looks fine. So I don't know. But anyway, the Baltimore Ravens won an interesting game on the road against the Dallas Cowboys 28-25. Which side of the football is more concerning to you? The Dallas offense or defense? Also, do we need to have a conversation about Baltimore's offense? And I'm going to just tell y'all right now, it's that defense. But I'll hand it to y'all. I got to.
Yeah, I agree, Ken. That defense looks atrocious because they can't do anything. And here's the thing, like a mediocre defense is decent at something. And this Dallas defense, they can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Leave it to Lou. He's saying that Michael Parsons.
Stop it. We can rush the pass.
Well, we didn't see it against the Saints, and we didn't see it last week. We didn't see it this week.
Nobody had to throw the ball.
Bruh.
And then that goes back to coaching and scheme.
Hey, Spike, I didn't know
there's one thing that our defense is good at is rushing the passer. Like, you can't say that. I give you everything else. And my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Good. I just didn't know that you started your new job as a bail bondsman. But it is what it is, bro. That defense it just looks bad, and nothing about it looks even decent. The D line doesn't look decent. The linebacking core doesn't look decent. The secondary, nothing looks like it's working. And here's the thing: we know for a fact Mike Zimmer is at least a decent defensive coordinator. Every place that he has been, his defense has been mediocre to great. Every single place he's been, except for right now. So I don't know what it is, because the personnel last year seemed like they were at least decent. And I know I'm saying decent a lot, but they're not that. They look pretty damn bad, Spike. The offense, I'm not saying that they're absolved of any piece of the pie. They get a piece of the pie too, but the biggest piece is that defense, because you can't allow the Saints to come in there and just score 40-some points. You can't allow the Ravens to go in there and then just, run rampant. And obviously I know it's Derrick Henry, and I had the questions about how the Ravens were using Derrick Henry, and this is the way that you use them. But at the end of the day, they gotta stop something. They got to stop something, and they're not able to stop anything. It just looks bad.
Lou, I was gonna go, but I want you to go first. You want me to, Lou? Whatever. You want me to go?
Go ahead.
Really quick, Lou. I think you're right. I think the pass rush is not one of their biggest issues. I think you're right, and I know what you probably gonna say is stop the running game and stopping the run. Those are the biggest things for Dallas to work on. Period. Also, that defense used to create a lot of turnovers, and that you're not seeing that this year like you did last year too. And that hurts because, their defense turns to offense quickly, and that's what Dallas is good at. I saw Michael Parsons and D-Law. They both was talking, and they said people got to do their jobs. So you can tell there's a little bit of in-house and fighting. And Dak Prescott said, he was talking to the fans, but he said it in the locker room as well. Like, if you're going to get off this train, you need to get off. They're saying, I don't know who they're talking about, but somebody is pissing everybody off. So somebody ain't doing their jobs. Whether it be, sticking to your assignment, sticking to your lane. They saying, Michael Parsons says somebody's trying to be Superman, and you can't be Superman out here. You got to do your job. I don't know. Like I said,
Damn sure not him.
Yeah, it ain't.
Damn
It ain't.
sure.
And it was funny though, is I thought it would be him. So who is he talking about? For him to say that, and Dexter Lawrence to say the same thing, somebody's not doing their job. And in saying that, you can't have that on the team like this, and it's really starting to hurt. So I would say defense first, though, if I had to pick between the two.
It's definitely defense. You have CeeDee Lamb, you got Dak Prescott. I would expect them to be able to make plays, at least against mediocre teams. But you can get a situation where a bad team can come in and just run the football on you, and you get a loss that you're not supposed to have, which is why I say defense. And yes, Mike Zimmer is a good defensive coach, as you said, FIFO, but he doesn't have the players for his scheme. Dallas' problem is that their players are too small. Pause. Like there's no dominant defensive lineman. There's no linebacker that will get in there and fill the holes. Like everybody is like defensive back size, and you have safeties trying to come down and play the run in the box, and it doesn't work. We saw it against Green Bay, we saw it against New Orleans, and we saw it in this game against the Ravens. Like you got Derrick Henry big. Derrick Henry was bigger than any linebacker on our team. And then what you try to do to solve that, because you are Zimmer and you are a good defensive coach, is, I'm going to move Michael Parsons around. I'm going to put him in linebacker. Or I'm going to put him over the center. I'm going to put him on the outside end. That's not best. Like, he is versatile enough to do those things. But as we've seen TJ Watt be dominant in Pittsburgh, I don't got to move him around, bro. I'm going to put him on this left end. He going to whoop somebody's ass every play, and it's going to be pressure, and our defense is going to be great. But since Dallas isn't big enough in a lot of positions, they just get mauled. And then you put Michael Parsons in middle linebacker trying to solve the problem. Now I got him on the option with Lamar Jackson, and he making a dumbass read, and Lamar Jackson breaking for 30. Like, it's never going to be able to work if they don't draft up the middle better. We should have got Reddick or somebody in the middle other than Hendricks or whatever his name is. He ain't done enough for me to remember his name. He should be doing more like that. That was our solve to the problem. We knew that we were smaller linebacker based off that Packers game, and we went and got him to solve the problems, and he ain't been good at all. Overshawn came back off an injury last year. He's the size of a defensive back. He can't.
Sounds like y'all all in right now,
and he's a good player. Yeah,
but
we all in to win 9 games.
But this goes back.
It's a 9-team win. I said that. Go ahead, my bad.
But Spike, this goes back to what we keep talking about, and what I keep saying is that serious teams have a mixed philosophy when it comes to drafting and free agency. When you look at the Eagles, you look at the 49ers, look at the Ravens, you look at the Packers, they do have a pride in, I want to draft my guys. I want to go get a Quinyon Mitchell. I want to go get, this and that. But I have to sign the Trent Williams to shore up the offensive line. I have to trade for Christian McCaffrey to take us over the top. If you think it's overkill, then we're going to overkill. We might have the most, dynamic offensive attack with the QB and Lamar Jackson, but let's go get a power back and Derrick Henry to, pound the defenses when we need to, be able to generate pressure late in games, wear down guys. We have to go get Hassan Reddick if we're the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? We have to go get Saquon Barkley. And my problem is that the philosophy for the Dallas Cowboys is Jerry wants all the credit with just drafting his guys, and then he wants to go bargain basement hunting for no names and then hope that they, hit sometimes. You might be able to have a good season with a Stephon Gilmore. You might be able to go have a nice season with a Taco Charlton or whatever. But it's like, where is the I'll pay $8 million. Where's the I'll pay the $8 million for Derrick Henry. He lives in Dallas. He wants to play here. Let me talk to my QB. Is he willing to front load a salary so we can afford a Derrick Henry to get him a running back? Where are the linebackers? Like, this cannot just be, simply draft. You have to be able to spend some money, and that's my problem with the Cowboys is that I can't take them seriously as a contender until I see that they're at least following in the trends of serious contenders.
100%. Well,
Yeah,
Q, nobody could have said it better. Like, I want to see the checkbook. I want to see the checkbook for the people that you haven't drafted, because that's what the best teams, that's what they do. And the Cowboys have not done that. What's the last big name free agent that they signed, or a splashy move that they had?
He
That
mentioned
they didn't
it
draft?
was Gilmore. That was good, but it's
But
not.
is that splashy though? But hold on. Because
He was
4
one of the
years
top
ago,
cornerbacks. And again, I'm not disputing your point. I'm agreeing with y'all. Y'all are spot on. But to answer that question, it is Gilmore. That was a splash, but it hasn't happened other than that. It has been somebody mediocre like a
can't even
Taco
say
Charlton. Like the best thing that you could have done this offseason, if you're not going to shore up the linebacking crew and the defense, then go get Derrick Henry and just be able to run the football and keep the other team off the field. However, Dallas doesn't have the ability to do that. And it's going to what both of you guys are saying. Like, I'm just going to trust the guys that I drafted in this tough offensive line and Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. That's not going to work. Like, you're going to have to sew up the middle. And until that happens, unless you plan on outscoring everybody every week and then letting that pass rush go to work, you get 8-9 wins.
And that's hard to do because you're one-dimensional. You got CD and you don't have much. You know, Brandon Cooks is okay, and your tight end Ferguson is decent. But, you know, like we said, there's no running game to speak of. Dowdell is a third-string back at best, and you got him starting.
Who? Oh,
Rico Dowdell.
Yeah. Well, there is no starting running back on our team.
No, there is.
That's unacceptable. Even Tony Pollard is better, and like you would have been better off, and because you didn't want to pay him, you would have been better off keeping Tony Pollard this year.
Yeah,
he's performed better in Tennessee than anybody in our backfield.
I'll say this. At this point in the season, we're starting to see tendencies. We're starting to see patterns of what these teams really are as the season is still going on. It's still early, but we're starting to see things be more consistent. My thing with Dallas is, at this point, I don't believe the defense is going to get any better. Because to the point, Lou, you've been talking about the linebackers for the last 2 seasons, at least from my memory. And so if you've been losing players as they go along and you haven't been winning big monumental games for the franchise in that time where y'all was supposed to have all that talent in the world, then I can see that taking a toll on the psyche of the team, which is why everybody doing the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other for the blame when they basically talking about each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like. But my thing is this. This is going on Dak. We got to go to Dak because I'm sorry, bro. You got paid. You're literally the highest paid player in the NFL. You need to put some points on him. I don't give a damn if you got a Turb. What's his name?
Tobin. Lost by 3 points, Nick. Don't do that though.
And that goes to my
CD Lamb.
No, CD fumbled. That's on CD. But my thing is this.
That's what lost the game. That fumble.
That's what lost the game.
No, I'm saying
they were going to score right there, either a field goal or a touchdown. That would at least take the game to overtime.
I'm saying this like Dak. I'm talking about Dak throughout the rest of the season. He has to be the reason why this team wins games. If they lose games, because at this point we're gonna keep blaming the defense for the rest of the season. That's not gonna change anytime soon. So the highest paid player, quarterback wise, has to score points at a high rate and not get pushed back on the 8 ball. Like when you have the ball in your hand, you know that I can't come away with just 3. Because I know my defense. I know my defense is giving up 7.
I agree with that.
I know Shelton, you're gonna say that's not what.
He's right,
but that's
how he has to be that. That's why you pay him that money.
That's what I'm saying. You're getting paid to do it. That's what I'm saying. Now, when we talk about how they got back in this game, that's the whole other half of this question. Is like with Baltimore, they was about to give up another double-digit lead.
Yeah,
in a goofy ass way. In the goofiest ways I've ever seen.
I was gonna say I agree with you, but I want you to keep that same smoke when we get the Bengals.
Did you watch the video? Did you watch the video that we did last night? No, you didn't. So you just talking shit like you always do.
But yeah, you're right, and I was gonna say that Baltimore did almost give it away, and I don't know why they keep taking their foot off the gas this year. They're not doing well late in games, and they got to figure that part out. You got to keep your foot on the gas. If you had your foot on Dallas's neck, you should have went on and put them out their misery. There's no way that game should have came down to you having to make a first down.
If Dallas would have won this game, we are looking at Baltimore drastically differently than we are now. Now we look at them fine now because they won the game they were supposed to win and saved their season And now we can probably judge him differently moving forward. But there was a reason why Lamar was looking at Marlon Humphreys on that IG live, like, "Nigga, you get that damn camera out of my face."
Yeah, he did not. Lamar did not like that.
If we would have lost this game, niggas is gonna cuss me out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody. I mean, I'm not gonna say anybody. I think a lot of people kind of stayed pretty neutral on how they feel about both of these teams, or this like the same. I haven't really been moved either way because I don't think Dallas is that talented of a team. So it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, the Ravens turned a corner, and it's hard for me to look at Dallas and be like, oh, this is a large departure from what I thought they already were, which is not that talented of a team. I just, bro, I think we're so far beyond the age of QBs being able to gunsling their way to winning games. The defensive players are way too fast. They're way too talented. There's too much film. There's too much tendencies that have been mapped out. And the only QB who's able to do that is Patrick Mahomes. And that's also because he has an offensive genius in Andy Reid, who is one of the best situational guys, with this talent that he has. Aaron Rodgers is not going back and forth if he doesn't have any help. Jalen Hurts is not going back and forth. Joe Burrow is not going back and forth. You can't gunsling your way to wins anymore. I think the talent gap has closed.
I'm not.
You don't
saying,
think it's fair for you don't think it's fair to ask a high-paid QB to go win a game for you?
That's all I'm asking for.
I think that's different from what Nick just said. If you're saying that, if we're down 14 points and my defense is at least advantageous, can get a pick here and there, can generate some type of pass rush, and maybe get a fumble or at least get stops, right? If my defense is advantageous, it's not out of the question to be like, Dak, you can bring us back if we get the opportunities for you. But, dog, I don't fear anybody on the wide receiver room besides CeeDee Lamb. I don't fear anybody in the backfield. The offensive line's getting old.
My point is, in game 1 against Cleveland, the defense showed up, right?
Cleveland's terrible. Throw it out. Massage room creep is terrible.
I'm going through the whole season. I'm going through the whole season. I'm saying their defense is. I'm basically saying Dallas' defense is inconsistent. Will they show up every other game once in a while? Does Dak need to have a $200+ million game every game of the season? No, he doesn't, because teams like Cleveland, like you mentioned, are going to be terrible, and they're going to win off of that. But if we're down, or like if it's early and we know that this defense ain't going to stop them, you have to have that sense of urgency, knowing that I have to score 7. I got to score 7 every time.
I hear that.
I'm only saying that, Q, because he got paid. And
I hear that. I hear you, Nick, and I think you make a great point. But what am I supposed to do when CeeDee Lamb fumbles the ball? Like, when am I supposed to just be like, oh yeah, I gotta go harder? No, nigga, catch the fucking ball and secure the ball. And
CeeDee don't fumble like that, though.
Okay, cool, but you fumbled right there, so we can only deal with what just happened.
Right.
So Deshaun Diddy Watson is not in my calculus with the Dallas Cowboys can be good. I think that they had 2 undrafted or rookie offensive linemen on the Browns. Of course, Micah Parsons looks like prime LT. You know what I'm saying? But when you go against teams that are at least competent on offense and at least competent on defense, the Dallas Cowboys look like they're untalented or lacking talent. I think Dak Prescott is not the problem here. And I'm an Eagles fan saying this, and I promise you, Dak Prescott is not the problem here. Dak Prescott could go to a multitude of teams and they would know how to use him better than Dallas does. I think that they're at a coaching deficit. I think they're at an ownership hubris deficit. They're at a talent deficit on defense. And I think that all the guys on defense who keep making podcasts need to put the podcast mics down and get on some film study, because y'all been getting your ass bust all year.
My thing is
3 minutes and we'll move to the next conversation.
My thing is real quick. Hold on. In that New Orleans game, Dak did not play well in that New Orleans game. He could have done more. He could have done more. You know that shit.
And I agree. I'm not saying that Dak is perfect. He's not, but to me, he's not the problem, because they have so many issues. Like I said, they have holes all over the field. And even with the lack of receivers in the room, Dak is leading the league in passing. He's leading the league in yards right now. So you got to give him credit for hanging in there and keeping his team in. He has no running game to speak of whatsoever. To be crippled like that alone, is like
I'm sorry,
having
bro.
one
Y'all
on
not,
top.
y'all not, no, show because that's you asking me to keep the same energy. I gotta ask you to keep the same energy too. We're not giving QBs who making that much money to a pass like that. Because
I agree with you.
get when we get to the Trevor Lawrences of the world, when we get to the Joe Burrows, y'all gonna look at me and say, this nigga getting paid all this much bread.
Yeah.
This nigga got this much talent around him, or has had talent around him for years. Why hasn't he got it done?
If you can't pick up the slack when we don't have a running game, then why am I paying you that much money? That should go through your head when you're asking for that much money. And the last thing that I'll say, Ken, the last thing I'll say before we move on is that if this is a close game against the Giants or even a loss, Mike McCarthy is not even hot seat. Like, he should be fired. Like, all of this stuff that we're talking about all goes back to Mike McCarthy. Somebody said it in the chat. I did say that Sirianni was the worst coach in the league. Him and Mike McCarthy are fighting for that. All the stuff with the podcast, Mike, all the stuff with the you ain't doing your job and the defensive players going at each other. All of that's a culture thing. You can blame it on Jerry, yes, but he's the owner. That's easy to do. Mike McCarthy is the coach. He get paid to handle that shit, and it ain't been handled.
Hey, bro, if Malik Neighbors go crazy on that,
he might, bro.
I just bet on it, by the way. I just bet on it.
Let's just shift to the Nets team. That won in a thriller, maybe we could say that. The Philadelphia Eagles won a close game on the road against the New Orleans Saints, 15-12. Should the Eagles feel good about this win? The Saints were 2-0 and looking pretty good throughout the season. Early, first 2 weeks of the season. Should they feel good about this one?
They should feel good about Saquon. You know what I'm saying? I got the best back in the league. I've always, unfortunately, it's in Philly, but I've always wished he had an offensive line because this is the shit that I was imagining him doing in New York. But, spilled milk. But, Saquon is crazy. He ran for all that and did all that, and they only had 15 points. I've never seen 15-12. Is that football? People, what is that? What score
and
is
Jalen,
that?
I want to hear from you too, brother. That's your squad. You had a lot to say last week.
Yeah, Jalen
nigga, hit that little button this week, Jalen. You hitting that little button a lot last week, nigga. I ain't heard from you. I ain't seen a little pop-up screen, dog.
That's crazy.
I don't hear nothing.
What you got?
You talking, Spike talking like I'm running from the smoke, nigga. Ain't nobody scared. Nigga. What the hell you talking about, bro? Ain't nobody scared, nigga. You talking real big and bad like a nigga running. I ain't running nowhere, bro. Because first of all, they should be worried. Our starting center went out on 3 snaps into the game, and y'all still ain't take advantage of it. Jalen Hurts is a disaster. So don't come in here with your chest out, like Sheldon come out with his chest out like the Eagles, that team, because they shouldn't have been that close. Y'all should have took advantage of that, and y'all didn't. Like, Jordan finally showed up on the defensive line just because our center was out. Now imagine if he was there, the captain of the offensive line. So y'all still got things to be worried about. I'm not saying we played the best either, but y'all should have ran away with that game.
Hey, Ken, did you see how hard Jalen Hurts was cheesing that game, bro? Hey.
That nigga know he needed that one. Went out there
I ain't see Jalen Hurts smile like that since the commercials, boy. That nigga was ready.
And he should have hugged the defense, man. And like I said, I think it was a good win because nobody expected this defense to show up. This defense showed up regardless. We can talk about a center being out if we want to, but it didn't matter. The defense showed up all across the board. All 3 levels played a good game after having the worst game ever, the first couple weeks. And nobody expected them to show up like they did.
How much money?
I'm not gonna let Sheldon get that off. First of all,
no.
How did the defense show up? Talk to me exactly on why you say the defense showed up.
Because you said it best. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis had the games of their lives. They was in the backfield. Jalen Carter.
That's all they got.
I can't remember the percentage of plays that he affected. He broke a record with the amount of plays he affected on the defensive side. I can't remember the I'll get the stat for you so you can have it. But
even with you saying that, how many plays do you think y'all missed with that were turnover plays that y'all could have executed on?
Oh, several. They still got to work on that. I'll talk about Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon is a rookie, and he's a good ball player. He just got hands of stone. They need to teach him to catch the ball. I don't know why he liked to try to. One ball he batted down. It was like right here, and he just knocked it down. Like I'm like, what is he doing? Like, pick that off. But regardless of the fact, these guys held a high-powered offense. Your offense has scored 15 straight possessions, 16.
Again, Sheldon, are we just acting like moving a guard to the center position is not as important as it is for an offensive line? Think about it this way, because McCoy to us is the same thing that Kelsey is to y'all. Imagine losing Kelsey mid-game.
We lost Kelsey before the season, but let's talk about that. The best offensive lineman. We're gonna talk about it, right? We talking about offensive lineman. The best offensive lineman that Philly has is who? Landon Johnson, right? He went out in the first quarter with a concussion. You also lost the player right next to him. Becton went out, so you lost your guard and your right guard and your right tackle, who's the best offensive lineman in the league in the same game we're talking about. Not only that, you're playing without your number one wide receiver on that side of the ball, and you also lost your second receiver. So I'm trying to figure out why, and still don't make no excuses because Jalen did not play well. By the way, Q, I've never said nothing about blaming nobody else for Jalen's turnover. Jalen needs to fix the turnovers. That's gotta stop. Ain't no excuses for it. I ain't never tried to make no excuses for it. You gotta stop turning the ball over. But in saying that, the defense stepped up and made a way to win. At the end of the game, the most important thing is having more points than the opponent at the end of the game, correct? That's what matters, right?
You're right. And for me, I'm not sitting here to gas the Saints. Because I was just happy they was beating the Cowboys. I've always hated the Cowboys, so I was gassed off that. But the Cowboys suck. The Panthers suck. So I've been telling everybody, I got to get 5 games in to believe this team because it needs to be, it has to be seen. But y'all should not be happy about that win because it should have been a blowout is what I'm saying. Because we could not move the ball at all. After we had turnovers in pivotal positions and we did not score. And y'all could not execute on them. I mean, y'all were in the red zone multiple times and could not execute on it.
Correct.
And your defense, it was okay. I don't get blown away by your defense. The Eagles should still be where is the crux of this conversation. So don't put your chest out too much. I'm warning you now, Sheldon.
No.
Don't put your chest out too much now.
Here's the thing.
He did this last season. He was like, a win is a win. You said the same. You looked at the camera and said,
a win.
He did this a lot last year.
I said the same thing, and I stick by it. A win is a win. They did not win down the stretch. They didn't take that and parlay it into something else. That loss that they had to the Falcons was probably the best thing that could have happened to them because all it did was it motivated the defense to come out and play with passion. You saw it this game.
Did it motivate the coach to make smart coaching decisions?
Absolutely not. That's another thing that's got to be corrected, and that's where you got to start at. You start with Jalen and the turnovers, and then you get to the coach. You got to make them.
Listen, man. Y'all
these are going to be fixed.
He keeps saying so much got to be fixed, and he's saying they should not be worried. I don't understand how those two things can coexist. It does not make sense. If I'm not worried and I got so many things to fix, it's just going to stay the same. Nothing's going to stay. I don't understand how those things work together.
I said 2 things. You had to fix your defense. You did that. And Fangio said it. Fangio said it. He said, hey, man, a couple things to do. You just got to train these couple things. And it worked, right? I said 2 things need to be fixed. You can't turn the ball over, and you can't make dumb coaches. That's the only 2 things I said. Those
some
2
pretty
things
big things too.
Those are
the quarterback touches the ball every play, and the coach deals with every play too. Those are pretty two big things that need to be fixed.
Are they?
That's literally how
are they correctable?
Yes,
because we see the trend. We see the trend of how many turnovers Jalen Hurts has. It ain't like how do you turn that off? That's the way that he plays football. And then when you get to Nick Sirianni, it's like we thought he was good, but now it looked like he just an imbecile. Like he ain't doing nothing right. So it's hard to fix the 2 things that you're talking about.
The 2 things, it's not. The first thing is the coaching thing is easy. You just take your hands off the control. Look, Howard Rosen need to call downstairs and say, hey, you don't make no decisions with the offense. All offensive calls go through Kellen Moore.
Wasn't he an offensive coach?
He is. He's an offensive coach. And things went sour. Man, so you just put that to the side.
As a Cowboys fan, Sheldon, as a Cowboys fan, if you say give everything to Kellen Moore and you expecting good things to happen, it's over. Go ahead and walk away. I promise you it's over.
Hey, look.
It's over.
Hey, look.
It's over.
Hey, man, to answer.
You just got it. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, just to answer the question. Yeah, like this is a very alarming. This is a very alarming team, and I think it all rests on the QB and the coach. I think the coach is an absolute disaster, and I think that Jalen Hurts is regressing, and people are just being very nice about it. I think that Jalen Hurts looks like a C minus QB in a lot of ways, and where I come from, that's called being mid. Some people who aren't as politically correct call that ass. So it's like, you might say that. But with as many weapons as Jalen Hurts has, there is no excuse for this offense to not be dynamite. There is no excuse. There's literally no excuse. There's nothing that anybody can tell me. There's no film that you can show me that you have Jahan Dotson, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, when healthy, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. You got, backup
And
wide
offensive line.
receivers, offensive line, top 3 in the league. You feel me? And then you have 2 offensive-minded head coaches, been to a Super Bowl. There is no excuse for Jalen Hurts to be staring down receivers and throwing. We go back to the Green Bay game. Should have had 4 picks. Go to the Atlanta game. Had, 2 picks or 1 pick and a fumble or something?
Yeah,
2
he got
picks.
fumbles. It's mostly
Yeah,
fumbles
2
in there.
picks or a fumble. And then you go back to this game. You have a pick and a fumble and an almost pick. And that is just not something that I feel to approach with kid gloves like that has to be corrected. That's an issue. And he has a real problem. That's something that I don't really have much confidence can be fixed because I think he's regressed back to who he is. I think that in 2022, we had an amazing scheme. I think that he progressed to where he was going to be. But the difference is that there wasn't a lot of film on that progressed version of Jalen Hurts. So he could catch the league by surprise. And the RPO action that we were running with our offensive coordinator hadn't had any tendencies, scripted out yet for a lot of other defensive coordinators. Where you're at now, you should be scoring 30 points a game. You should be scoring 27 points a game, 26 points a game. It's something in that range. And I'm very alarmed. I think my coach is an absolute idiot. He doesn't know when to just take 3 points. He doesn't know when to run the ball. He doesn't know when to tush push. He's fucking clueless. And when my QB is staring receivers down, reading defenses slowly, when he doesn't know coverages, and when he doesn't know what to do pre-snap, I look at this like, I don't think we can really do much this year besides maybe get to the playoffs and lose a game.
And you know what, Q, to add on to what you're saying, hold on, Shelton. The issue that I have with the Eagles, and we talked about this, I don't know if it was week 1 or week 2, when we talked about, when you play against the 49ers, regardless of whoever's lined up, they're going to run the ball.
Yep.
Play defense, they're going to run the ball. And they have an identity. With all of the plethora that's literally on both sides of the ball, but primarily on offense, what is the identity? 2 seasons ago, when they made the Super Bowl, we knew that they were a running offense with the option to pass because the quarterback was dynamic in the run game. We haven't seen that since. Whatever injuries that ailed him last season, he should be 100% this season. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing realistically creativity from the offense. I always talk about give me plays for quarterbacks. Give me 2 to 5 joints a game that, what I'm saying, it gets me back in rhythm, or, just a little something easy, just a little layup. We're not seeing that. I don't think that Kellen Moore is a bad OC. I just think that there are bigger issues beyond. I feel you, Spike, but I think there's bigger issues beyond just the OC. I think it definitely has to do with the head coach. We saw it toward the end of last season where Nick was saying, or not Nick, but I'm sorry, Shelton was saying, well, they're not calling the right plays and this, that, and the third. What? When you have guys on the outside like that, throw the ball up. What is we talking about?
No.
What do you mean? So what's the identity, Shelton?
I'm gonna get to that for you, FIFO. First off, Q, did you realize that play that went on 3rd down where you
They can't throw the ball up because they ain't got a quarterback to do it.
do you realize that the play that was completed? Hey, y'all keep saying it. You do realize that pass.
Go ahead, Sheldon.
Was a check by Jalen. Jalen checked into that play that went to Goddard that got them down there to score that touchdown. That was Jalen. You know that, right?
Whoa, what?
Also, that Jalen Hurts is 4th in the league in passing right now. That's true as well too. Now, Key, you are right. I don't like the way he read defenses right now. I see Jalen needs some work. I'm not oblivious to this, but I'm not gonna let anybody just act like Jalen ain't contributed to the success of this team as well. This team
He's
has
not better than Burrow.
We'll see. That's to be determined. And one is 2-1, and the other one's 0-3.
No,
So
it's been determined.
That's what I see.
It's been determined already.
Nah, you're biased. It's not even close.
I think every Eagles fan take Joe Burrow.
They've both been to the Super Bowl, right? They both went home
Shelton, stop it. It's not even close, bro. You're you're wasting your breath.
I know because
Bro, Shelton, you know what Shelton, you know way too much about football to make that statement, bro.
Nick,
we're not talking about Bell. You know way too much about football to sit here and say that with a straight face. I refuse to let you do that. You're about to ruin your credibility, bro.
He's a better. No, I absolutely will not. Jalen Hurts is not as good a passer as Joe Burrow, but to say he's a better quarterback, I got to see it. I need to see them both in a complete season to get through it. Who went to the Super Bowl last? Come on, man, y'all. I don't know what it is. Wow. Everybody wants.
We're using our eyes, and you're being biased. That's the difference in everything.
Right. What's
anybody that look at football show will know that Joe Burrow is a better quarterback. If Joe Burrow I
said Joe Burrow had more talent. I ain't making that up. That's fine.
So what we talking about then? Cool. All right, good. That's it.
I'm saying I need to see that talent on the field. I don't need to see him on the sideline.
If Joe Burrow more talented than Jalen Hurts,
but how is Jalen on the same level?
We talked about
or better.
We talked about what do y'all like to say? Okay, well, he got the money. Well, I need to see him show it up in the stats. I need to see him win the game.
Jalen Hurts got paid too, by the way.
That don't apply. Well,
and you just said he has more talent.
Playoffs every year. What do you want? What more? Have Joe Burrow been to the playoffs every year? No. So come on. What are you saying? Give me your.
You know what we're saying.
Bro, nobody gonna argue this senseless point you're making.
All we saying is the same thing.
You know the saying. When you argue with a fool, you look like a fool, right?
You look like a fool.
And I look like a fool for arguing with you.
No. That's why nobody is arguing with you right now, Shelton. That's why nobody's saying anything. That's why you're just talking into the void.
Y'all don't do nothing but hate on that man. Y'all gotta watch the game.
No. It's not that. Jalen Hurts has been overrated his entire career.
And Joe Burrow has not.
His entire career.
No.
This is like Sheldon. We're crashing out right now.
Yeah,
let's just get back.
And here's what I want to know: why? When Q, here's. I just got a question. I just need clarity. I just need clarity so I can understand whatever it is you were saying. So when Q pointed out Jalen Hurts turnovers, why did you want to watch film with him about said turnovers?
No, it wasn't turnovers.
That was crazy.
No, the argument that then Q was having wasn't about the turnovers.
Yes, it was.
No. See, you got to go back and read it. That's why I say go back and read it.
I did, Chelsea.
I agree.
I actually did go back and read it.
And what'd you see? Tell me what it say. I said, let's watch film.
Yeah, why? That's what I'm asking you. Why? Why,
Sheldon? Why?
Because you wasn't very clear. So I want to know why.
Q said that he couldn't play the position. I said, Q, he didn't get this far doing nothing. Let's go back and watch some film together.
I didn't say he couldn't play the position. I just said I said that, and I was being hyperbolic. I was saying he's closer to the Zach Wilsons of the world than he is to the Joe Burrows of the world.
And I said, let's watch it. True. Let's watch it and see.
I think that we can see when 26 turnovers in the last 21 games. That's not good. Like we killed Carson Wentz. I killed Carson Wentz for that same shit.
So Q said Jalen is ass, and then he said he's closer to Zach Wilson than to Joe Burrows. You said he's tripping. We need our own segment to break down what's happening. I'm ready when you're free. Q then said Jalen Hurts has 25 turnovers in his last 21 games. What's happening is Jalen can't read the defense. That would be a 30-second video. You said let's do it with film breakdown. LOL.
Right. So we're not talking about, but once again, I ain't talking about the turnovers. Yeah, he turned the ball over too much. I agree with you on that. But once again, to say he's ass and he can't do all that's different. That's
I mean, that's just that's hyperbole.
That's-
So you
that's
can't
watching
debate
Drake
hyperbole. You can't watch film and debate a joke. Like,
And that's
I'm
funny.
like,
Talking about I'm academics to Drake. And that's
Yeah, you really
he
are.
is.
Spot on.
You really are. You really,
You
bro.
really
He
are.
looks like, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you, bro.
explain.
He looks like he looks like Jameis Hurts right now, bro. Like it's not.
Wow.
I'm just being so real with you.
Now, at least Jameis will throw 50 touchdowns in a season.
That
With that
50,
type of
50 and
talent.
50, like I'm just saying,
Hey.
He
man.
have 50 picks. He gonna have 50 picks too. but
I'm just
he
saying,
gonna
man.
have
It
50
looks like
touchdowns.
I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say it just like this, man. It looks like we're winning despite his deficiencies than we are winning because of his additives, and that's my problem as an Eagles fan. If I have Lamar Jackson, I have Joe Burrow, I got Patrick Mahomes clearly, and even if I have guys like CJ Stroud, I feel like I have the opportunity to win every single game. With Jalen Hurts as my QB, I think a lot of Eagles fans feel this way as well. That it just kind of depends on who we're playing. That's what the separation is.
36 and 18
Oh my
and
God,
25,
bro.
29, 25 and 1.
Yeah,
One is Jalen Hurts' record, and the other one is Joe Burrow's record.
right.
Somebody said if Jalen
We're
was a
mo-
Kappa,
Next
segment
subject.
would've
I
been
rest
Yeah,
my
we're
case.
moving
Y'all
to the
prep,
next
I mean,
segment.
right.
Before we go on to
Yeah,
the
go
next
ahead.
segment,
Get what else you got to get out.
I don't want to debate that point, but I want to debate the principle behind fallacies. And a fallacy is that when you use simple statistics to prove your point, when you need context, and then when people give you statistics, you say that you want to provide context. So when you're debating people who use both sides of different arguments, you kind of just have to realize you're dealing with people who are going to weaponize whatever is going to, be necessary to prove their point. So it can't be stats one time and then be context the next time. It can't be context one time and then
I
be just
agree.
look
I
at the
agree with you
stats
on
one
that.
time.
I agree with
So
you
I
on
think that we have to be more in the middle here to be like, there's some truth to that, but the context shows that the Eagles have invested more in Jalen Hurts' success than they have Cincinnati Bengals investing in Joe Burrow. And I think Nick will agree with me there.
Yeah, that's facts. That's going to my point later on down the line that I know Lou's going to agree with me on.
What's that?
Ken got to move on. I ain't trying.
Yeah. Anyway, bro, y'all hilarious. The Steelers, man. Let's talk about another quarterback that we were told can't play by Spike. But
I stand.
it's serviceable, and he's winning games with Tomlin. The Steelers defeated the Los Angeles Chargers at home 20-10. What's more believable, that Justin Fields is the new franchise QB for the Steelers, or that the Steelers are the best team in the AFC North and playoff contenders?
Mike Tomlin is the best coach in that division, hands down. Number one, might be the best coach in the AFC, but and only second to Andy Reid. Only second to Andy Reid in the NFL. Only second to Andy Reid in the NFL. I mean, only second to Andy Reid probably. So we'll say that. But bro, Justin Fields looks like a serviceable professional QB. He looks professional. He looked like he was playing for an unprofessional organization last year. And Caleb Williams is dealing with that same problem right now. You can put all the talent in an unprofessional atmosphere, and guess what? The results are still going to be similar. Where talent can only overcome inefficiencies of infrastructure so much. And the infrastructure of Chicago is coming out right now, and you can see it, even with all the talent. But you put him in a professional organization that cares about putting him in the best position to win. Justin Fields looks like a professional QB, and he looks serviceable. He looks better than Daniel Jones. He looks just as good as people like what Baker Mayfield is showing over the last 2 weeks. He looks just as good. He looks better than Jalen Hurts this season so far.
Trevor Lawrence.
Looks better than Trevor Lawrence. Looks better than Will Levis. All these people who are going to get all these statistical and contextual. He's not making intermediate throws, but yet I look at people downing Anthony Richardson, rightfully so. And what do they say about him? He can't make short intermediate throws. So is it Uchiwali or is it one fucking Mike? Can intermediate throws be good, or is that terrible when you just want him to throw long bombs? Like, this doesn't make any sense. He's hitting his receivers. He had to throw to George Pickens last week against the Broncos. That was amazing. Only a
Yeah,
couple
they were.
QBs could make that throw, and they brought it back because of Broderick Jones. So he don't really got a lot of help in that wide receiver room either to like elevate his throwing talent either. But I gotta give it to Justin Fields, man. He looks like a professional, and he's making those strides, man. They're developing.
I
So
saw
what do you-
somebody.
Hold
I
on.
saw-
Yeah, that's the same.
Hold
What's your answer, Q? Is he the franchise QB moving forward, or are they a playoff team?
Oh, I got him to win the AFC North. I already told y'all I don't fear nobody in that division. So I mean,
Yeah, the question is he the starter? And Mike Tomlin today would not make a hard guarantee of that, but I guarantee he win his next game. He's gonna be the starter regardless. Because
I think that's Tomlin's mind games trying to keep a young guy hungry, bro. I think that's Tomlin.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like some tough love from Tomlin.
That's what it feels like. But yeah, I think that like you said, the organizational structure and the fact that Mike Tomlin, I think I sent y'all that video where he was talking about being a coach and these guys having the tools, they just need to cultivate it by a good coach. And he is that guy. He when we talk about that guy, I would go as far as to say is he he right there with Andy Reid. The only reason I say this is because it takes a lot to take a player like Justin Fields. If you got those two quarterbacks, Justin Fields and Patrick Mahomes, it's not even close. And here y'all are, on the same plane, at least as far as I'm not the two quarterbacks, of course, but I'm talking about the two teams as far as their records.
Shelton, to quickly interject is because Mike Tomlin is the Andy Reid of defense, right? Like he's not the Andy Reid of offense. Tomlin.
But it's just the confidence he puts in the players. It's not even the X's and O's for Mike Tomlin. What Mike Tomlin is doing is he's giving you a professional mindset, which means you're going out there thinking a totally different way. We looked at some of these guys, like I know I was not sold on Najee Harris. I'm like, Najee Harris has been trash. He's a bust. But now he looks like he belongs right now. You know what I'm saying? And he's carrying that offense, running the ball. And then you got Warren coming in. These guys are playing above level. Because they got a coach that gives them confidence right now. I'm sorry.
No.
Nick can't take all this Mike Tomlin love.
I'm like,
he about to throw up.
I'm saying, bro, this is not because I'm like, I'm not disagreeing that Mike Tomlin isn't. I said in the chat, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He got a ring. He got a great defense. He's 3-0. Congrats to him. Great head start. But at the same time, right? Who did he beat? Let's go down the list. Bo Nix.
Here you go.
Kirk
Here you go.
And half of Justin Herbert.
Oh no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that because no. Because Nick, didn't you pick the Chargers to win?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
So what are we talking about?
No, but you saw what I said in the chat. That was before I found out Justin Herbert had a high ankle sprain. I was like, hold on, we might need to call this game back. But I'm just saying, Lou, the game looked different literally when he was in it versus when they went from.
Did Justin Herbert get paid?
Fourth quarter.
Did Justin Herbert get paid?
Justin Herbert shouldn't have played that.
Did Justin Herbert put his pads on and did he go out there and play?
He did. I didn't.
Okay, so I don't want to hear shit about. I don't want to hear anything about what he should have did. You got to go out there and play. Like, no, nigga, go win the fucking game.
You bringing up a point that I'm not bringing up.
No, but you are skating past the point that you've always been making.
No,
so that's what I'm saying.
Let me finish before you go into your whole.
Here we go.
All I was saying is
John Harbaugh's the coach. John Harbaugh's the coach. John Harbaugh. Come on, bro. What the fuck? Yo, Nick, this trend is getting a little scary, man. I'm not gonna hold you. It's getting a little alarming. We over here on what? So what is this? So what is this? Fox Sports? Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing?
The funny thing is, again, I said let's go back to the tape. Before we even picked that game, I didn't even want to pick that game. Lou said, put this game on for the weekly picks. I said, and on air, I said that week, I was like, Ken, this ain't the game that I really want to judge John Harbaugh on because he's only beaten the Panthers and the Raiders at that time. I was like, I kind of wanted to see this game before we start picking the Chargers game, but we picked it anyway. Now, going into that week, they said Justin Herbert had a high ankle sprain. I was like, I don't even want to pick this game no more because he's not going to see the real Justin Herbert. But we let it play because Schultz was like, nah, nigga, we got the picks in. Fuck that shit.
And he hate Mike Tomlin so much that you picked the Chargers.
I know. I no, it's not. It's not. I ain't got no hate for Mike Tomlin. It's like how much I believe in John Harbaugh because he was 2-0 and it looked handily 2-0, and this is a great matchup to see. Now the game that Mike Tomlin won, that's great for him. They're 3-0, but I'm saying for the season's output, I'm looking at this season as far as like they've only beaten these teams. That's fine, but haven't really played a team with a legit. This is the first team they played with a legit quarterback, and he got hurt halfway through the game. So moving forward, I'm gonna judge the Steelers based off the teams that they play with a legit quarterback. As far as they contenders, but to answer the question, I do think Justin Fields is their starter, their franchise QB moving forward. Because obviously they're not going back to Russ because they're 3-0, and Justin Fields has progressed well enough to where I think that you can pay him a Daniel Jones type of contract and be fine with the results you get. Because like what Q said, Mike Thomas gonna win you at least 8 to 9. He's an 8 and 9, 9 and 8 type of nigga. Maybe with a good talented QB, you get 2 more wins off of that. So that's good enough for them to move forward because they clearly can't pick a QB.
The Steelers defense is the best unit in football. Better than any offensive unit, better than any other defensive unit. So any week they going in, they have that opportunity to win. So to speak to Justin Fields, he ain't got to go out there and be much. But if I'm Mike Tomlin and I can depend on having one of the best defensive players on the planet in Watt, and we play great defense every week, better than any other offensive unit or defensive unit that's going to the field, and we good. I don't know how you're saying, Nick, that them being 3-0 is fool's gold. Like them being 3-0 is legit. What's fool's gold is people saying, "Oh, Justin Fields has gotten better." He's the same Justin Fields, he's just in a better organization. Like, it's the same thing. See, that's and it speaks to the clip. It's real quick. It just speaks to the clip of Mike Tomlin saying you got to coach players. I do agree with y'all. He was in a bad situation in Chicago. It's way more prevalent now than it has been before. But you have the second best coach in the league, and Mike Tomlin giving him tutelage or whatever they got going on with Arthur Smith, and he's gotten better. And we see what happens when you're around better coach. But they got the best defense in football. That's always going to count for something.
That's been proven last year, this year, whatever. That is the best unit. But what I'm saying is that if we're picking between the two questions, as far as which one is which, I'm going with I think Justin Fields is franchise QB. I think they're. No, I don't think they're. I don't think they're a legit playoff contender. But I think
they'll swap Russ out tomorrow. They'll swap Russ out tomorrow because that defense is so good.
This is where you're wrong against Spike. Look, it answered the two questions directly. Justin Fields is going to be their franchise quarterback moving forward. The reason being is we've seen them. Look, Spike.
Number 3 games, bro.
Number one, listen. Number one, we know what Justin Fields is, and we know he still has some upside, right? I'm not saying that he's going to become Patrick Mahomes or Cordell Stewart. Like he's not necessarily. I don't know.
If he ain't that's his ceiling, he ain't their franchise quarterback. If he ain't that good, he's not their franchise quarterback.
Listen. He's 3-0. And they have the right organization with the right head coach to make Justin Fields the best version of what he can be in the league, right? It's kind of like Greg Popovich when in the NBA. You go to the Spurs and you can't do something, meaning that you can't thrive here or resurrect your career, you're probably going to be out the NBA because it's a machine. This is how we do it. This is the right way we play ball. And that's what the Steelers offer. And the thing about what Justin Fields brings to the table is something that they haven't had since young Big Ben. Somebody with a capable arm and is mobile. And we know that he's better than Kenny Pickett. We know he's better than Mason Rudolph. We know that he's better. Yes, we do.
I don't know that.
We knew that in Chicago. You didn't know that.
We don't know that.
But the rest of us knew
you
that.
Still don't know that. He's just
that.
in a better situation. He's performing better. Let me ask you a question really quick.
Mm-hmm.
How long would you let Justin Fields struggle before you put Russ in?
To me, the only way Russ is touching the field is if Justin gets hurt.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Not crazy.
That's insane.
That's not crazy.
That's true.
That's not
I got
crazy
the best defense in the league. I got the best coach in the league, and this dude out here stinking it up. And you think
because I told you from preseason when they signed these guys that Justin Fields was the guy. Go back and run the tape. I'm standing.
That's fine, people. No way in hell they're gonna let Justin Fields stay in there if he lose 3 or 4 straight games.
It depends on if
they won't let him stay.
They defense too good to let him stay.
If it's 3 games,
it won't even be 3 games that they'll let him stay out there and lose him. If he's and it depends. Once again, we talked about how he plays. You know, the biggest thing is just not turning the ball over, making sure he gets them in the right position. That's his job because we talked about it. They do got the best defense in the league, one of the most aggressive defenses in the league that will keep them in games. His job is just not to blow them games. His job is to get them first downs, keep the chains moving, and put points on the board when he can. That's what he's supposed to do. And if he stops doing that, then we'll see Russ.
Yeah, he out of there.
He's actually gonna be the rookie season Seahawks Russell Wilson, where it's like, yo, hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch and let the LOB take over. We'll be advantageous with our deep ball whenever we have like defense on his heels with play action.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, bro, hey, 5 yard, 6 yard passes, 4 yard, screens, whatever it is. And my issue is probably only about 2 or 3 games if he's like doing terrible. But the thing is, Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin are not putting him. He's not. Chicago made him a crash test dummy. They just put him out there and said, yo, just go and we want to see if you can win these games by yourself. And he couldn't do it. And if you want to judge him and crucify him for that, then all right, bro, I understand that logic. But with Russell Wilson not being able to run the same way and the Pittsburgh line not being as dominant as it should be and making the mistakes and being a little bit more porous than it needs to be, the thing that separates those two is Justin has this capability factor. He can make up for the fact that Broderick Jones missed his assignment and all right, I'll scramble for 3 yards. Now, instead of 3rd and 14, we're talking about a 3rd and 5. And those situations is what the Steelers probably want more because Russ is in advanced age now, man. I don't know if you can put him in there unless he gets hurt or he's being terrible.
Justin Fields is going to sign a multi-year contract after this season with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, and that's cool. He probably will. I think they will because they got somebody that they like that they got for cheap. So, and if they can win games with him, that's cool. If Tomlin's still there, because I think he's about ready to walk anyway. So he might leave. He might leave. Yeah, for what, a year or two?
I think he got a 3-year extension. 3-year
extension. He did a 3-year?
He just re-up. Yeah, something like that. He just re-up. But it's funny though, because real quick, it's funny because we talked about the question we asked at the beginning of the year was how long before he take Russ's job, and it's crazy that it was week 1. So
Russ couldn't even get on the field. He has a calf
job yet though. I don't know if he's taking his job yet either though.
Right now, Spike
still won't commit to it.
He's not committing either way though.
Well, he won't say that Russ is out, huh?
It's smart though, Spike. You can't commit to say Justin is the starter, and then you're thinking, well, what if he plays bad? Regardless, I do agree. I do agree with y'all. I do agree with y'all. Mike Tomlin and the Steelers brass is probably looking at this like we have a really good thing going right now, but if we declare that he's the starter, we're still not 1,000% sure. They're pretty sure that this is going to be the thing, but. Yo, what if we play a team that puts us down 14-0, and then we need Justin to, kind of throw us back into it, and we see his deficiencies.
Yep.
Lou, you don't have that bad girl, but you got that girl over there, and you're trying to see how that's gonna work out. That's what that is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's not that smart, but she got some money over there. You know what I'm saying?
I think that. Yeah, I saw the article. I saw what Tomlin is saying. I think I'm with you. I think it's smart for him to kind of not be non-committal because I don't know if he know. All I know is they know that it's working right now, and we know all these guys are, man. We're winning, so why mess up a good thing that we got going on until he doesn't win? I'm not sold on Justin Fields yet. When I'm watching him, I'm like he's doing all right. But he terrifies me every time he drops back. I don't know what's gonna happen. So
you like Jordan Love did you last year?
Man, I'm just not. Yeah, I haven't seen the reads, the progression. Like he knows the offense. I think he's probably been coached to not turn it over or do silly shit. And I think that's a good thing. But I still think that and hopefully he's learning from Russ. So he can learn the position, but I haven't seen what I felt like I thought I saw in college manifest itself in the NFL, and he's definitely shell-shocked from everything that happened in Chicago. And looking at the way Caleb is performing with way more talent, it does look like Chicago is an issue across the board. Especially when you look at what's happening in Washington early. So with Jaden Daniels. But anyway, so I think that as long as he's winning, he'll be in there. I think that they'll probably commit to him, for a couple of years since they already got a young guy, especially if he perform well. Was this enough to make the playoffs? I don't know. So I think Justin will be the franchise quarterback next year. But as far as the playoff team, I got to see them beat. I got to see them beat some real teams, and I got to see what happens when they're down 14 points and they need to come back. Can Justin get that done? So, and I'm not saying I don't even think Russ can get it done because I think Russ is at the end. But,
done.
Yeah. Speaking of done though, the Rams, man, had a pretty good comeback against the 49ers.
Not a ram in the bush.
That's crazy.
What?
What you say?
A ram,
What'd you say?
a ram in the bush is hilarious.
Oh, the title.
Yeah. They had one of the best comeback victories of the season, defeating the 49ers 27-24. With injuries piling up for the 49ers, did San Francisco miss their window to win a Super Bowl? Yeah, man. I think the 49ers are in trouble. Hargrove is hurt. Any word on what happened to Purdy in his back? Yet?
I don't know. You need to talk to Deshaun's people.
Yeah, if he go down, it's even worse. So, yeah, man. What's up?
With the 49ers medical, do they not have the worst medical staff in NFL or the last 10 years in NFL history or something like that?
Well,
That's the Ravens.
No. I think they just got injury-prone players.
But you would think,
especially with the two that got hurt.
But you would think they would have came up with a good regimen for those players because they got the same issues. Especially when you're talking about some of these issues are hamstring. That's like hydration. That's not even really like a chronic thing. At least to me, players have always talked about that's more so like hydration.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
But hamstring can be chronic because it's a soft tissue thing. So it can be hydration, but it can be a chronic thing. Look at Julio the last 4 or 5 years of his career. He was always out because of a hamstring. And you know what I'm saying? So you can't say it's all one thing.
Okay, it's really just wear and tear, man.
It is.
Well, regardless, that should not have been the reason why they lost this game. Because I'm sorry, wasn't it 21-7 at one point? Like it was like I was like, what the hell happened? Then they give up a 50-yard, knowing that they can't give up a field goal,
bro. And they've been throwing. In the second half, all they did was play action. They bit on the play action damn near every play. Moody missed the freaking field goal, and I saw it on his face. He did not look like he was confident that he was going to kick that field goal, that he was going to make that field goal. And then you proceed to give up a 50-yard bomb. Once that play hit, I was like, oh, they lost this game.
That was like the wildest three. That last 3 minutes was like the 3 or 4 minutes was the wildest 3 or 4 minutes you ever see in a football game because the tide just completely turned. Like you said, that game there was no way on earth you could have convinced me the Rams were going to win that game. And they hung around long enough and made the plays they needed to play down the stretch. But like you said, Nick, I think that was more coaching than it was anything else. You had to lead. There's no way you should have lost that as an NFL team.
And speaking of other things, I noticed that Brandon Ayuk is a bank robber. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sorry, Jawan Jennings having 3 tutties and it offers just like How are you asking for all this money? I was Q. You gonna have to answer this for me because I heard he was a number one. Lou. Yeah. And I
don't put me in this. I told you he wouldn't.
I could have sworn number ones get at least 1 tutty. In the game.
Did Jamar Chase just have a good season until like a game ago?
Hey,
Could it be possible that when you don't have a off season and you don't have preseason to warm up, you might be trash for a couple games?
Absolutely. And that's what I was going to say, Q, is I was going to say the same thing. Micah Parsons, when he was doing his podcast, instead of watching film, that's the exact thing he said. He said, these guys went without training camp. So he was talking about CDs, what he was talking about. So you can't expect them to come out there and ball out right away. These guys got to get acclimated because they missed, 5-6 weeks? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Man, y'all be wanting people football players.
No,
Nick,
I was going off that point, Q.
What you
did
asked me
Jamar-
earlier, people, did I start a bail bonds company? Like, are we starting bail bonds companies now? Like, these niggas went in training camp. That's on them. I don't.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't
Like,
care
what
if they
did
went in
Jamar
training
do,
camp, bro?
We're
Q,
setting
what
a very dangerous precedent with.
did- what did Jamar do last night?
these
I'm
players.
sorry. Did he not look like a number one last night, FIFO?
I mean, that was
Did
just
he look like but he did he look like that prior to though?
yeah.
just saying,
The only argument you would have
just-
against Jamar Chase is the fact that he hadn't got paid yet, so his play could justify what his performance.
And that was another point that I was gonna get to. I was like, Jamar Chase ain't paid like a number one. Brandon Ayuk is paid like a
Doing
number
like
one.
every other niggas do. Every other nigga when they go to their job do be like, I'm doing what y'all pay me for, nigga. I ain't doing all this extra shit. I ain't filing no other stuff, nigga. I'm doing
Nick,
what y'all pay me for.
I'm consistent when I say if you get paid, bro, this is the shit that you get paid to do, bro. We don't get paid. Jamar ain't got paid yet. That's why he can the numbers he's putting up. Like he's overachieving. We say he's overachieving. He's overperforming his contract. Brandon Ayuk is not overperforming his contract right now. How
Nick,
many
when
weeks
I-
I gotta wait
I
for that?
get it, but these are still people. Like I think we be just like, dog, like these are human beings.
These
These
are
are human
football.
beings.
These are not people. These are elite athletes.
See, this is what I'm saying. This is what the precedent that we're setting on this show, and that's why I'm just like, yo, these are human beings, bro. Like,
Here's-
they gotta get acclimated, man. They gotta get acclimated.
But if I said that about Joe Burrow, like, oh, he a human being, don't judge him based on like, even though he got paid, you'd be like, nah, nigga, this is not what we doing.
Well,
Here's
he's
what I'll
and he
say.
had an off season, so the context is not the same.
Yeah, here's what I say, Nick. When you said it, I felt like it was too soon. And then what happened at the end of the game, I was like, nah. I said, where's Ayuk? He made a I mean, it's a simple route. You run a curl route, you catch the ball on 36 to convert, right? But when I saw Purdy throw that ball, and when I saw that ball hit Ronnie Bell in the hands, and when I saw him drop that football like a brick, that pass was like the shit was on point. It was a good pass. It was right in his hands, and he played it like a DB. All I thought about was, why the fuck ain't that Brandon Ayuk? Because he could have caught that pass. You know, so I'm like, where is Ayuk? Where is Shanahan scheming plays for him, the talented guy on there? Because you're down Debo, you got him. Juan Jennings, whatever his name is, making a play. Call some plays to get this guy open. And it's just like, what are you doing, Shanahan? And then the other play that I felt like Shanahan again, it's 3rd and 8. And you got Jordan Mason that he used but barely used. And he called a pass play. And granted, Purdy was able to get a couple of yards to make it a serviceable field goal. But who knows? Jordan Mason may be able to break a tackle and get a little bit closer. Like, what are you doing? You know, like, what do you? And then on top of that, to make it worse, you call all these sneaks with Purdy, who I think they were saying isn't really good at sneaks. So you got a good game out of this guy, and the coaching blew it. What the hell is going on? And the punt return. What the hell? You don't have your pieces, bro. When you guys were talking about earlier, this is where coaching comes into play. We looking at LaFleur winning games with that guy, Malik Willis. You know, McVay winning games when he's down his pieces in a game that they were down. You know, Stafford is that guy. We know he's the comeback king. Shanahan, you can't lose that game at all. And he found a way to blow it. It just makes no sense, bro.
That's why, like, I'm getting to the point where, I mean, you already know how I feel about Kyle Shanahan. Y'all always try to get me on me with Mike Tomlin, but y'all forget what I've always said about Shanahan. And it came down to the Sean McVay once again proving that I'm the big dog in this division. I'm the only one who got rings and tings when it comes to this real shit play calling. Because there should be no way, especially with just Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford damn near got knocked out this game. There should be no way he should have kept them even nowhere close in this game, and they still lost it. So that's why I'm like, either I'm coming at Kyle Shanahan or I'm coming at Brandon Ayuk, because one of the two don't make sense. That's all I'm trying to say.
It's Ayuk.
I'm not worried about no.
I'm not there yet with Ayuk, but I felt like I felt like
I think the Jennings performance shows you why they didn't want to pay Ayuk. It's because Shanahan is looking at it like, bruh, I put you right there, and you see what Brandon Jennings is doing, and now you in another position where you number one, and they told me you was a number one, but you can't do shit. You can't even break away and get open. I think the 49ers are very clear in what they're saying. It's like, bro, the reason that you had the numbers that you had is because you were in that position. Look at Jennings.
I need to go back and watch that film though.
Juwan, man, that's
Juwan Jennings.
Spike, you think Juwan Jennings can keep that up? Now, I think they may have they may have discovered a gem in him because he did play well in the Super Bowl. So they may have found the guy.
If he's continued giving those opportunities, I think he can. I think just like Ayuk, he's good enough to capitalize off the opportunities that he's given.
Correct. He can make plays when need be. The thing about it is if the defense is focused a certain way, it can be easier for others to make plays. You got a good enough quarterback that does read the field and he does look around to targets. So he targeted Jennings because Jennings was getting single coverage. I'm gonna go back and watch it again just to be sure that I ain't going crazy. But
Brandon, you got more targets than Juwan.
He did.
Yeah, he got way more targets than Juwan.
I didn't think so.
I thought it was like 7.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's just simple preparation with him.
It's gonna take.
When I be saying my shit, y'all niggas always want to come at me, but when they humans now, Ken. When we gotta talk about somebody getting paid. Fuck it.
We just context be the enemy of some people, bro. People hate context, but I feel like.
Juwan had 12 to because Purdy was like, nigga, I'm gonna stop passing it to this nigga.
How many targets did Ayuk have?
10. Ayuk had 10.
And Juwan caught 11 of those 12 targets for 175 yards.
Ayuk caught half of his.
So I need to go back. I really want to go back and see how they were defending him. Because that does matter. It does. And then it's easier. You got Christian McCaffrey on the field. Yeah. If you got Christian McCaffrey on the field, it makes it a lot easier. And the same thing with
Wait. You're telling me
Brandon Ayuk to get.
You're telling me Ayuk is a number one, right?
Yeah, he is.
And
but he's asking,
and then you're saying, okay, I want to see how they defended him, but Justin Jefferson gets defended like a number one every week and still puts up numbers.
That's
the difference when we say that.
But there's different levels to number ones, though.
Yeah,
every number one ain't on the same level.
So what
is Ayuk a number one or not? That's the question.
What level are we talking about?
He's
bottom tier,
though.
Give me another example.
Mid-tier.
Give me another example of an Ayuk.
Yeah,
who is that?
Who's an Ayuk?
Who's another example?
Who's the bottom tier number one?
AJ Brown. AJ Brown.
Yeah. AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Keenan Allen.
DJ Moore is the best.
All of these people are better. DJ Moore, okay.
DJ Moore is not a number one.
I don't.
He is a number one.
Bro, y'all crazy.
He's in Chicago.
Just because he plays for Chicago.
DJ Moore is not
That's the only reason why he plays for Chicago.
I don't know.
He was a number one. He was number one in Carolina and Chicago.
Yeah, like you telling me about a number one receiver in Carolina and Chicago, bro. Like, come on.
I mean, I told you AJ Brown is
AJ Brown as well.
AJ Brown is better than Ayuk.
That's disrespecting.
AJ Brown and Ayuk kind of do similar things. They're really one-dimensional guys.
No,
I don't agree with that.
And Ayuk runs better routes than him.
He does because AJ Brown is better with the ball in his hand after the catch.
Yeah,
he's not a great route runner.
AJ Brown is working with a lot less talent than quarterback.
I mean, to me,
he got to make this shit work.
To me, CD and Ayuk are in the same league. I mean, that's just me. That's just me.
I don't know about
I'm being bro. Okay, I get it. I just. And this is not Eagles bias. I don't see what people be talking about with CD Lamb. Like I see a really good.
I don't know about that.
I see a really good receiver. I see it, and I'm open to being stupid and dumb. That's fine. I don't see Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams the same way with Ayuk. I don't see Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, but he's still a number one. Same way CD's a number one. Like I feel like CD and AJ Brown are in the same league. I don't think AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb are that far apart, and that means
I agree with that. I
think AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb are close, but I don't think Ayuk and CeeDee Lamb are close.
AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb are not close.
All right,
Really?
bro.
They're
I'll take
close,
CD
but
Lamb in
still-
Dallas
I
tomorrow.
think
you
you. I
still-
think you
you
could put
still-
Ayuk on Dallas and then put up similar numbers as
Hell
as,
no.
as,
Nah,
as CD.
man.
We'll be
Nah,
a
man.
lot worse if we get
CD
Ayuk.
CD is a CD to me, man. He make plays, and he's not Justin Jefferson, but that's hard. That's a hard comp. That's just not. Yeah, no.
That's a true number
He
one,
is
though.
up there.
But
We're just saying that for
like,
the example.
like I
Justin
said,
Jefferson
I'm
is a
over there,
true
bro.
number one wide receiver. If any definition in the league, Justin Jefferson is a true number one. And then when you try to compare someone like Ayuk to him and you're saying he's a number one, then it starts not to make sense.
Well, that's what FIFA was saying. He's not a true number one. He's a
He's a
I
bottom.
don't know what he's saying. He's a bottom. He's a bottom
I don't,
bitch.
even, I don't know what tier. I don't know what tier of number
Hey,
one
your
he's
bottom
on.
is your best.
Yeah,
Nah,
you can't.
I'm just saying.
You can't say that.
I'm just
Let
saying.
me ask you this, FIFA. Would you take
Mhm.
Marvin Harrison Jr. or Ayuk?
He's younger, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the reason why he's cheaper, younger, bigger, and
The fact that
faster.
that's the question
Strictly
is
based
crazy.
off age. Y'all telling me it ain't skill set.
See,
Well, no,
like, bro, we can't keep
it's
talking
everything
about
else too.
context.
No, hold on. It's everything else with Marvin Harrison. He's bigger, stronger, and faster
He's a
than
true
Ayuk.
number one. He's a true number one.
He's a prototypical
top-
number one,
He's
bro.
tier one.
Amari
Exactly.
Cooper.
He's prototypical.
Okay.
He's
Amari
prototypical.
Cooper or Ayuk?
Who?
It don't matter.
Amari Cooper or Ayuk? I'm taking Ayuk
Ayuk.
easily.
I'm taking Ayuk.
That's the same.
Ayuk.
I take Cooper, to be honest with you.
You tripping, Spike?
I
That's
promise you, Cooper.
That-
Cooper's a
but
better receiver
I
than
don't know.
Ayuk.
That's fine. I think
Cooper's a better
wide,
receiver than Ayuk.
wide receivers. I think
Not
wide
today.
receivers. Wide receivers
Maybe
are very
3 years ago.
Did you see the game
offensive scheme.
Sunday?
Not today. He ain't.
Sunday,
Hey,
that game. Cooper.
Lou, Stephon Diggs or Ayuk?
Diggs.
Ayuk got a better attitude.
Yeah, that's true.
I ain't gonna hold you cute. I don't care about none of that. Like, bro,
I-
go
How
catch
you
the
don't care
Patriots.
about none of
I'm
that?
trying to win.
That's
I'm
why
trying to
you're
win.
one trick pony ain't
cuz.
doing nothing.
No, because I want to coach like Mike Tomlin where none of that shit matters. I can have Antonio Brown in the locker room and none of that shit matters to me. I don't care nothing about your personality. Go out there and do what you're supposed to do.
Look. This the last thing I gotta say. I gotta swerve right now. But when it comes to Ayuk, the conversation that we're having is just about the offensive schemes that he's in, bro. Like wide receivers are very dependent on what the offensive philosophy is. So I feel like once we get to understanding, see niggas who don't like context, niggas who hate context, they talk about sport. This nigga got paid. He should win. He got paid. Dead end pocket watching. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? But pocket watching is not analysis. So when we're talking about the actual context of Brandon Ayuk, bro, he's got to get back acclimated, and then when he does, he'll be fine.
The amount of money he makes is only relevant to me when it comes to justifying his role on the team, right?
It's been 3 weeks.
If he
3
says,
weeks.
no, if he says this is we ain't got that much football. This ain't basketball, baseball where they got 100+ games. We only got about 60.
Nigga, it's about to be 100 games in like a year. Nigga, they about to add like 2 more. It's like,
Yes, it will be.
Right,
it will be.
But I'm just saying it's like when all I'm just saying like all off season, Q, we was talking about where Brandon Ayuk going.
He won't
like,
practice it.
He's a game changer. He the best. Like, we was arguing like he better than Debo. He may be better than we was arguing on this. So I'm like, all right, bet. Y'all tell me he at number one. All right, bet.
But
I
that's
believe
what
Hold
we
on. It's so cute. I think the issue they're having though too is they're confusing a number one receiver with a superstar receiver.
That's
like,
what
those
I'm
are
about.
two
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
Like a superstar receiver is a totally different. Y'all
Come
comparing
on,
him to
bro.
Justin
Talk to
Jefferson.
these niggas,
Like
bro.
that is not the same thing as being a
but Doc,
you could be a
Doc,
starting
he was
quarterback
asking-
and not a superstar quarterback. You could be a starting
Doc.
quarterback that's quality and not be a superstar quarterback. Like
Come
those
on
are
now.
different layers. You can still be in the
Ayuk-
same tier, but different layers to it.
Yep.
Ayuk was asking to be paid
Context.
like a superstar wide receiver, though.
No,
That's
he's
the
asking
problem.
Quarterbacks do it all the time, though. You're just a good starting quarterback. and
That
one
just
superstar
did it,
quarterback.
and he robbing us right
You-
now.
you-
But
he
I'm
asked-
saying,
You are what
Market,
you
bro.
negotiate.
market value, bro. Like, are we really going to debate market value right now? Like, of course he's going to ask for the most because he up. Like, it's market value, bro. Like, he's asking.
So don't get mad at us when we judge him on a different scale. That's all we're saying.
But okay, see,
I'm judging you differently because if you going in there asking for superstar money, I'm judging you as a superstar.
Come on,
I ain't gonna be like, oh yeah, well he was able to go in there and get what he negotiated, so I'm cool with him being average. What do they got to do with me? I'm a fan, bro.
So why you care about? So why you care about if you?
But I'm a fan. I expect you to perform up to what you're asking for as a player.
No, that's not.
I want CD Lamb money, nigga. You better be CD Lamb.
But Spike, that's not a fan mentality. That's a GM and owner mentality. Like that's not a fan mentality. A fan looks at what the player's been doing his whole career and keeps him in context. I'm not gonna look at Miles Sanders and be like, man, he got to play like Saquon because they play the same position. They say they're playing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said it. But it's like, I'm not going to look at Miles Sanders and be like, he got to be up there with Christian McCaffrey because he played the same position and he's a starting guy. Like, no, bro, I'm not going to say that.
Let me ask you this. If Miles Sanders go in there and he tell the Eagles, I want the same money that Christian McCaffrey is making, you're not going to judge him differently?
If he gets that money, as a fan of that team, because I'm a personal fan of that team, I'm always gonna judge based on whatever my team is doing. Because I'm gonna have that bias, and I'm gonna be upfront with I'm biased in that sense. I'm looking from the owner and the fan mentality. But if I'm just a fan of football, I'm not gonna be like, come on, bro. Like I can't say that Ayuk is on the same level as Megatron was. Like that's not the same.
No. I'm not saying to Nick and Spike. So do y'all look at Tua as being like a superstar quarterback since he's top 5 being paid?
No.
Should he perform like a superstar?
Yes, he should perform like a superstar.
Okay, he should. So should Jared Goff also perform as a superstar?
Yes.
What are we talking about?
My thing is this is what I'm saying. That's what Lou's saying. This is
why would I pay you that money if you're not gonna do it?
Hold on, Lou. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So we saw that there was a list of injuries that happened for the 49ers going into this week. Kittle was out, C-Mac is out, Debo is out, even a couple other niggas that we ain't really give a fuck about. When I'm going into this game, I'm like, all right, this is the Brandon Ayuk game because they literally have no, like, I didn't know who anybody else really he's throwing the ball to outside of, I don't even know. So when I see Joanna Man Jennings get 3 tutties for $170 and Brandon Ayuk only have 5 catches for 48 yards, that does stand out to me. I'm sorry, in a game where they were up heavy early. So to me, it's just like, where is the disconnect? My real question is, how many more weeks do I have to wait before this number one shows up? Now, granted, I agree. He may not be, we probably shouldn't compare him to the Justin Jeffersons, the Jamar Chases of the world or whatever. If he's not a superstar receiver, that's fine. But how low do we get to where we call somebody a number one still? That's where I'm trying to get to. Because said he's the number, y'all say he's the number one. How far down on the list are we getting to number ones to where he will not number one?
But also to your point, Nick, like if they were up and they were winning without him being a part of the game plan, why force him to be a part of the game plan?
Because I've seen multiple games, even a fucking Super Bowl, where Brandon Ayuk has not been a part of the game plan when it comes to them winning. So when he goes, so the reason why we were asking about the number, why the money comes up is like, we spent the whole offseason to, in my opinion, hyping up somebody who really wasn't that impactful for their team when it came to winning.
He was impactful, Nick, and me and Shelton broke down the numbers where compared to other number one wide receivers, he didn't get the targets, but he had the production of a number one wide receiver. Hold on. Can I speak, my nigga? I let everybody speak, bro. I've been hella quiet.
No, you did.
Yes, I have. I've been hella quiet. So I let all y'all speak. And I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but me and Shelton broke down how many targets he got versus the production Ayuk was able to put up, and it justified the money that he asked for, because as a route runner, as a technician of the sport, he is one of the better number one options. I 100% agree with Jalen. A superstar and a number one wide receiver is completely different things. When Spike, you asked about Marvin Harrison Jr., he has all of the makings of a superstar. He has top tier speed, size, athleticism, pedigree. His name is Marvin Harrison Jr. His dad, which is a Hall of Famer, said, bro, he way better than me. He doing things I can never do. And he had him as a dad, which he already taught him from a little kid how to be a tactician at the position. So there are different levels to this shit. And all I'm saying is Ayuk is definitely a number one. Is he a superstar? I don't know. Because nothing he does is spectacular. He doesn't have spectacular hands. He doesn't have spectacular speed or size. But what he does is he gets the job done with limited opportunity.
What's Cooper Kupp? What's Cooper Kupp?
Is Amon-Ra a number one? Is Amon-Ra St. Brown a number one?
100% yes.
Yeah, he is.
So
he's a number one or a superstar? Wait.
He's just a number one. I don't.
He's a number one.
A superstar.
What's the number one?
Real quick, Q. What's Cooper Kupp?
Cooper Kupp is a number one.
He's not a superstar.
Not to me. Even when he won the Triple Crown, people were saying on this podcast that this is not in the context that we think people are seeing it in. Like, of course, but there's very pass-heavy offense. They don't really run the ball.
Who's better?
Slinging that.
Who's better, Brandon Ayuk or Cooper Kupp when healthy?
I think it's a toss-up, bro. I think it's a toss-up.
He's a Super Bowl champion.
Toss-up right now because of Cooper's health. Like, you know what I mean? He's right now.
I'm just saying when healthy. Like
going into
the season, who would you say was a better receiver?
When healthy, to me, Cooper Kupp, because he has done more. But we also only seen Cooper Kupp really ball out. We've only seen Cooper Kupp ball out when he has Matt Stafford there. Right?
Cooper Kupp has had only two 1,000-yard seasons.
Okay, and they were both with Matt Stafford, right? And that's the reason why we're saying he's a number one and not a superstar. You know who's a superstar? Terry fucking McLaurin. 4 1,000-yard seasons in that offense with that quarterback, with whoever was that quarterback.
Mike Evans.
Superstar.
Mike Evans.
Superstar.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, y'all can't, we cannot look at the prototypes like Pantheon, bro. We're talking about Pantheon. Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Megatron. Those are like freaks of nature, dog. And a superstar includes those people, but they're even above what superstar level is. Like, your Pantheon great. Superstar is like, Devontae Adams, Andre Johnson, Julio Jones. Those were superstars, bro. Mm-hmm. And then in the number one, it's the context of what do you mean to your team and how are you used?
Q, let me pause you right there. On the same team, we have both of those things. We have Reggie Wayne and we have Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison was a superstar. Reggie Wayne was a number one.
Yeah.
He's reliable. Jordy Nelson was a number one. Reliable. Wherever the quarterback needs him to be, he's going to be there. But can he outrun the majority of the guys? Nah. Is he going to go make a spectacular catch here and there? Yeah. But is it in his nature? Is it just naturally in him? No. You know what I'm saying? So that is the prime example of a superstar versus a number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
Reggie Wayne versus Marvin Harrison. Let's get the picks.
Hey, Ken, I'm gonna let y'all get the picks because I want to get off too. But I'll also say this to Spike and Nick: how many superstar wide receivers do y'all even see winning championships?
Okay. We just dragging this conversation to so many different ways. I just want to know how many games until I get the Brandon Ayuk game that shows that he's a number one.
You should see him in the next couple games.
Okay, that's all I want to know because I'm not asking him to be Jerry Rice. I'll
answer your question, Doc. You don't need a superstar wide receiver to win an NFL championship. I mean, to win a Super Bowl. You don't. It's been proven for years to come, which is why when y'all gave me shit about why do you pay wide receivers on this platform, that's the thing that I was saying. You don't need a superstar wide receiver to win a Super Bowl. So,
all right, Nick, you up? Picks.
All right, we got the picks coming up. Well, FIFA, we had to create a whole damn just to let y'all know we had to create a whole damn chat just so we would get picks in. But going into this week, it was
I was 2-2. I was 2-2.
What'd you say, Lou? What'd you say, Lou?
No, that's great.
Lou, what'd you say?
You must be using one of them Reddit chat rooms or some shit.
What'd you say, Lou? What'd you say, Lou? Go ahead.
We For the this week's picks, these were some interesting games. Most of us went 2 for 2. Ken, sorry, you gave us a great great lead in for me to get back into the race. You know what I'm saying? Sheldon picked the obvious.
No risk, no reward, baby.
Yeah, Sheldon is a company
Straight
man. He
chalk.
was going with the-
Straight
going
chalk,
with
Wait,
the-
baby.
hold, because 2 of those
Straight
picks, I was
chalk.
on the island by myself. So you
Yeah,
can't
straight
use
chalk,
that
baby.
Yeah,
example.
you went with the.
I think so was I, and I lost mine. the Jaguars. The Jaguars. Never mind. I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead. We gotta finish.
No. I mean, you picked Baltimore, Buffalo, Philly, and
I
Pitt.
picked the Cowboys and the Jaguars. So
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like Sheldon, you picked all the obvious teams that like going into. No one's
No,
going
I
to
was the
argue.
only
against-
one to pick. I was the only one to pick Pittsburgh. That's not obvious.
Pitts-
I was the only one.
Pittsburgh is your
If
only.
it was obvious, then I wouldn't have picked them. I was the only one to pick the Eagles. It was just me by myself.
Because you're a fan.
Obviously, you're an
'Cause
Eagles
you a
fan. Why
fan.
would
You a
not-
fan. You a fan.
How is
You a
that
fan.
easy?
You a
That
fan. You a
ain't have
fan.
nothing to do with it. I said what I
You would
said.
pick the Eagles. You pick the Eagles to beat Kansas.
You're gonna pick the
City.
Eagles
Man,
regardless.
so listen. If I pick right, I'm wrong. But if I pick wrong, I'm wrong. You
No,
can't.
you're
You
right.
remember the last? No. Let me ask you this: you remember the last time you picked against the Eagles?
Yeah, I do.
All right, Nick. What you say?
Um,
What was the picks? Okay.
I can't remember what. Yeah, go ahead.
I've never seen somebody so happy that they picked the team that nobody else picked and got it right.
No, I've never seen anybody.
That they root
I
for
ain't
them.
happy,
That's
Ken.
the
I'm
crazy
Ken. I'm
thing.
not
Like,
happy.
we know you gonna pick them.
I'm not
Exactly.
happy, Ken. I've been here before, so that's nothing new.
But you are gloating.
I've been-
You are
Nick,
gloating.
I've been on the right side more than I've been on the wrong side. Let's put it that way.
Right. So act like you've been here before, Shelton.
I've been here.
If that's the case.
I'm
You're not acting like you've been here before. You act like you never won before.
Yeah. I will also say that the for the viewers' choice, y'all doing shit ball. By the way, y'all
They
can't
lost
pick
again.
games. They got one win, I think, in last week because they all picked. They picked Houston to beat. They only got the Kansas City Atlanta game right. They picked Arizona and Houston to come out, and those teams. I mean, they picked Arizona and Houston to win.
Houston let me down, but ooh-wee.
Yeah. This week we have some new picks. First up, who we got?
Oh, let me see. Hold on.
Oh yeah,
Jalen?
This is the one.
Oh, okay.
We got Seattle versus Detroit. In Detroit, I believe. Yes,
Yeah,
in
it's in
D-Town.
Detroit.
I'm the only one picking Seattle. Wow. I guess I gotta
And I
go.
hope you're right.
I'm picking Seattle because I do. The reason why I did that is because I do not like how Detroit's offense look. But they I think there was a stat like they've called like 150 plays and they only got like 10 points out of all that shit. Like their offense is looking weird. They're supposed to be dominating, at least putting points on the board. I'm saying this as a pissed fantasy owner fan because I picked Jared Goff as my quarterback and he playing shit ball. I don't know what's going on with this offense. They are winning more games in ways that I think if we look at them, they look a little funny in the light. And I like Seattle. I think Seattle's hot. Lou, I think they were one of your teams for the playoffs. I think you were spot on with that. They fuck around winning a division based on how the division is looking for the NFC West. That's why I'm going with Seattle. I think it's gonna be upset.
I think they could definitely go to the playoffs. What I would say about Seattle's offense, I'll be quick. Detroit's offense, I'll be quick. Shout out to you, Ken, for the NFL Plus recommendation subscription. I watched all the games. The thing about Seattle's offense, Detroit's offense is they just gonna run the ball. What they did this last week, they just ran the ball off tackle left, off tackle right, and then do a play action to golf, and somebody's wide open over the middle. I don't think Seattle's gonna be able to stop that with the offensive line that Detroit has. That's the reason that I picked Detroit. Like they have simplified their offense to like you better be bigger, faster, and stronger than us in order to stop us. It ain't scheme, it ain't any of that stuff. We ain't gonna ask Goff to do too much. Like all we gonna do is run the ball down your throat, and if you can stop it, cool. Then we'll try to figure something else out. But if you can't, we're gonna go for 4 yards every carry off each tackle, and you got to figure out how to stop us. And that's why I picked them.
That's not the offense that we saw last year. That's all I'm saying.
That's the offense they ran last week. I'm telling you, like, it was. They kicked their ass up front. It wasn't close. And again, that NFL Plus subscription where they do the condensed games is fire. You can watch it all in 30 minutes. They were kicking their ass up
But
front. It was just
that's
like,
what
and it was very simple what they was doing. I'm gonna run Montgomery each side until y'all quit.
and that's what I've been saying, right, about the Lions. The reason why I felt that they peaked a little early versus where they are now, and this is what Dan Campbell has been preaching since he got there. Let's play the right way. Let's play mistake-free football. Let's be bigger, stronger, faster, and let's play really solid defense. That's how
I
you win
think
football games.
I think that so I'm with you, Nick. I am concerned about Detroit's offense. They don't look right, and they got the same people, right? I think Ben Johnson's still there, Aaron Glenn's there. It's the same people.
Yeah,
So
everybody.
they don't, they don't look right early. But Seattle, who have they played?
They beat a feisty Patriots team. That shows more
Okay, here
guts.
you about to hype them up. We don't need to hear anything else you said, bro.
They beat the Bengals.
Come on, bro.
hey, you know what I'm saying?
They beat the Bengals.
They
Their
beat
offense
Bo
ran a hook
Nix.
and ladder. They ran a hook and ladder this week, bro. That was
Yeah, they beat Bo
craziest shit that I've
Nix.
seen
They
all
beat a rookie head coach that had Jacoby Brissett barely, and they beat the Dolphins, who lost their backup quarterback. So, yeah, they're 3-0, and that counts for something, of course, obviously. But let's see what they do against Detroit. It should be a close matchup given how Detroit has played so far.
I just think if you like Seattle seems like it's kind of like you said, like the mud wrestling gator roll teams were like, if you ain't gonna score over 20 points consistently, oh yeah, we gonna be in this game and we gonna push it to the brink. And I think Seattle wins in those kind of dog fights. I think Detroit is used to going off the back of Jared Goff, at least from last season. Last season, Goff had a great year, and that's why we took Detroit seriously. This year, if they just running the ball and stuff like that, there's going to be a team that's going to stop the run. And if you get pressure on Goff, he looked like a whole different QB. So that's what
the majority of them do. But here's the difference, though, is that they have weapons. They just don't go out here blazing all their guns. But if they needed to, I think they could win a couple shootouts.
This is the game that we don't see.
Well, this is not a shootout game.
I didn't say it's a shootout game, but I don't think it's going to be running the football. That's all we need to do against this team type of game.
All right, what's next?
I think it is.
Up next, we got, it should be
Ravens Bills.
Ravens Bills. All right, Ken, tell me why the Bills, because I'm.
Oh damn! Hey man, look, taking the walk on the wild side, bro. Hey, no risk, no reward. It didn't work out for me last. Hey,
and I'm
after Monday night, your pick seems more logical than the Ravens pick.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, you got a shot.
That's why I wanted. That's why I wanted Ken. I
wouldn't be surprised if they kicked the Ravens' ass. To be honest with you.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, I'm actually surprised I'm the only one that picked the Bills. To be honest,
I was almost with you, but I got to go with I'm going with Lamar one more week here. If he don't win this week, then I'm done with
I got one more week. I'm out.
He at home, so he's
what that mean? Gardner Minshew ain't told me that ain't shit.
It don't matter, do it.
And even if
I offensively, I like what I saw with how they're playing Josh Allen. Simplify Reese. He's not turning the ball over. I think not having a number one may actually be helping him more than hurting him because he's really just going to the person that's open instead of force feeding someone.
Right.
And their win against the Cowboys didn't convince me because the Cowboys defense is absolutely terrible.
Exactly.
So, and that's why I'm like, I don't know. But, the Ravens also lost 2 close games, and they could very well be 3-0. So we don't, at least I don't know which version of which Ravens do we have. Is this the 1-2 team or the potential 3-0 team? So I'm going to see if Josh Allen is for real. This is the game that'll show me if the Bills team are for real or not. This is a legit opponent.
If my thing is this, if we can't trust the Ravens to be up double digits for the rest of the season, because so far they've blown leads. I like it's going to be interesting. Like, I think the Ravens are going to win because it's a home game, and I'm thinking that. I mean, I'm going off Lamar's history that he wins 75% of his games. That's the main reason why I pick Lamar most of the times. There's a matchup against the Ravens outside the Bengals, but I don't like. If this is a shootout, do we trust Lamar to put up
No,
points?
I do not.
That's what I'm saying. Like with the way they played on Monday, like they can run the ball and like they really do what the Ravens are supposed to be doing, but just better. If you want to be honest, like they know when to run, they know when to throw. They have a QB that can run. Like this is a great game to kind of see who with which team does what the other team does better. But I just still think that with Derrick Henry, like you should be able to just demolish teams. So
Right.
that's the main reason. At home, like that's the thing that you should be. Baltimore should have his hat on. So we'll see. But
Should.
if Josh Allen win,
And here's the
if Josh
thing.
Allen win this game, he MVP. People gonna give him the MVP trophy right now if he win this game.
They handing it to him now.
Yeah, and I see that too. But Lamar normally steps up in games like this, and I think playing at home, he got something to prove. He showed he was serious. Like he said, he shot Marlon Humphrey down. Like we ain't playing right now. I think that Dallas coming back should be a wake up call for that team, and they should come out blazing at the crib. They got something to play for now, and they losing ground. So I think it means more to Baltimore to win this game than it does to the Bills.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I picked the Ravens as well, because they got themselves into an early hole and they're almost like in mini playoff mode right now because they got to correct some things. But the reason why it was difficult to pick this one is because Josh Allen and the Bills look legit for real, and I didn't necessarily anticipate it, but the way that McDermott has turned it around from a coaching perspective, because I thought he was ass without Dayball. He's proven me wrong this season. You know what I'm saying? Last season it was a little tough for them, but this season, you know what I'm saying, they look good. And I do agree with your point. Not having a number one feels like he's not forcing it. It just feels he's playing loose out there. You open, cool. You get a ball, you get a ball, you get a ball, pause. But they just doing the damn thing, and they look like a juggernaut right now. So this is going to be a really tough game for Baltimore, but I believe in Lamar, and I think that they have to win this game.
And the Bills'
I
schedule
think
has been easy too. Go ahead.
Yes, it has been.
Their schedule been easy. My last thoughts about it, I think that Baltimore is a little bit more desperate than Buffalo. Buffalo is going to be here. People blowing smoke up their ass all week about them being great and how they blew out Jacksonville, how Josh Allen is early MVP candidate, and they may let the foot off the gas. And I think Baltimore is too talented for them to do that, and that's why I picked them. However, I am on the lookout for Josh Allen. Like he's having a hell of a season.
Josh Allen does play great in September though. So that doesn't help my pick choice. But
if I would have known that Lamar owns the NFC teams, when I saw that record when I was watching that Cowboys game,
one game, 23 and 1,
insane. I was like, "What the
It's
hell?"
Crazy.
Because they don't play him, they don't see him.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
They don't see him. So when you see him, it's like, he faster than I thought he was.
Yeah,
it's just a wrap.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
It's hard to prepare for that.
So if he ever make it to a Super Bowl, he should win.
Yeah.
If he
got to
ever
get
make
past
it.
the patty.
He got to get past his head coach.
That too.
Yeah.
Next.
All right. Up next, we got Eagles, Tampa Bay. Damn. Okay, so Lou, I know why you doing that. FIFO, tell me why you picking the Bucks.
I'm picking the Bucks because the Bucks look good right now, and to me, the Eagles are shaky. We talked about it earlier where I said, what's the Eagles' identity, man? Like, on paper, these guys next to the 49ers should be dominant every time on offense. With their offensive line, given the weapons that they got, and then they just added Saquon to the mix, bro, they should be averaging 30-plus points a game, and they don't. And it looked bad last season. So I can only go off of recent history. And to me, they're not firing on all cylinders. And I don't know if they get it fixed. That being said, I feel like the Bucks are an underdog. And that is exactly what Baker wants. And Baker has been playing really good football ever since he's been in Tampa. So to me, this is the game where, I feel Philly has to gut check themselves. Whether they win or lose, it's just gut check time. And I'm putting my money on the Bucks. I'm putting my money on the home team.
Did you see Baker play last week against the Broncos and Bo Nix? You talking
I
about them
did.
playing good?
Yeah, but they at home, right?
But I also seen Jalen Hurts play against the Saints last week too. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
I think the Eagles.
think-
I think. I was gonna say. I think before you go, Lou. I think the Eagles are learning that we just need to lean on Saquon. That's the way we're gonna win these games. Because right now, doing that, he's proven that he's the best back in the league.
Nick, the thing about that is they coach smart enough to do that though. We don't know if they coach is smart enough to just lean on Saquon. Clearly, that's the best thing about their team.
You may have to if Devontae Smith doesn't play this week. You're gonna have to lean.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was
AJ
wondering
may not
if
play either. So
AJ probably still out. Devontae may still be out with the head injury.
Yeah.
I think Todd Bowles is going to be able to put together a good scheme against Jalen Hurts. The Bucks have the best quarterback in this game. That's the reason I picked them.
Yeah, I didn't know Devontae was probably going to be out.
Yeah, he had that concussion, Ken.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only thing, Ken, and that does change things drastically if you don't have your one or two receiver on the field.
Yeah, I would have definitely picked. I think I probably would have leaned towards the Bucks, but we're here now. They lost to Bo Nix, bro, and I think Baker has definitely been playing very, very well since he's been in Tampa. You know, he had a great season last year by his standards: 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, so the turnovers are down. He had a bad game this week, but he sits in 2 on the year. Last week, so he sits in 2 on the year, so he's still playing well. They're 2-0. One of those came against a legit playoff opponent in the Detroit Lions the week before, which was a grinded out game. So can't deny that Baker is playing well in the system under this organization with the coaching. And but I think that Saquon might be the X factor in this particular game. And the only person that could probably blow it would be Sirianni. And a couple, you know, if Hurts if he could, Hurts making unforced errors and turnovers, which could happen if Devontae Smith isn't on the field easily. So, but if he's not playing, I think they're gonna definitely lean on Barkley a lot, and find a way to win that game.
All right, moving on. The last game we got to pick. The last, no, they're not undefeated because Green Bay did lose to the Eagles. But we got Minnesota at Green Bay. Sam Darnold is probably the hottest QB right now in the league, I could argue.
Okay.
Kevin O'Donnell.
Gucci Mane LaFleur is making Malik Willis look like a first round pick. Yeah, bro, this is why I picked. That's why I haven't really poo-pooed my Super Bowl pick as far as Green Bay coming out the NFC, because I think with the way things are going right now, Jordan Love can take his time coming back. You know what I'm saying? Once he gets back, like
he may be back this week. That's why I'm mad I picked the Vikings.
I saw that.
They said he'd be back this week.
I don't think he'll be. I think they'll give him one more week. I think
they said he may be back this Sunday. They said this Sunday he may play.
Oh wow!
I would really like to change my pick if he's playing. I'm taking the
you can't do that.
I'm picking. I think me and Sheldon
changed my shit.
Me and Sheldon the only one that picked Green Bay. I'll go first. Matt LaFleur is a top 5 coach, and he's got
maybe everybody.
3. Yeah, it may be just. Well, I can't say top, because I got the top 3 right now. To me,
he may be right behind McVay.
He's
got Tomlin, Andy Reid, McVay, and LaFleur.
Yeah, that's why I say he's top 5. He's not top 3 to me. He's top 5. Like I'll put Mike Tomlin and them ahead of him. But right now, what he's doing as far as coaching job, like I think that's an underrated thing that the NFL is not really talking about. Malik Willis got his revenge game, which I'm happy because it was against that mayonnaise eating motherfucker. What's his name? Will Levi. So I'm glad that he was able to do that, and he looked really, he made all the right plays. Like Malik didn't look bad at all. Like, so I'm curious to see. This is the battle of the backups. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I'll go with LaFleur, even though Brian Flores has been coaching his ass off on defense. Like this to shut down the 49ers like he did, to the way he did to Houston last week. Like, I'm sorry, like he made us feel. I was over here ready to give CJ Stroud top 5 QB, top 3 QB mentions. He shut that shit down quick. So I'm going with Green Bay, but I think it will be close. I think it's like a 21-17 game.
Yeah, I think that I similar reasons. I do trust LaFleur and what his offense is doing, but I think that Green Bay can unlock the Sam Darnold code, and it's tough to roll like that all season. We all know that, and I think at some point he's gonna have a Sam Darnold type game, and I think it may be this week. That's why I picked Green Bay.
I don't think we really know what a Sam Darnold type game is. That's the reason I picked Minnesota, because the most impressive thing about that team has been the defense. And if their defense is going to play like it plays, I didn't know that Love may be back. So if they're playing Malik Willis, I expect him to struggle. Even with a great job that LaFleur has done as a coach. But I think that the Vikings, they lean on defense, and their coach is an offensive coach. So once they get all of that together, they could be even more dangerous. That's the reason why I picked them for this game. I thought the Vikings would be able to outscore them because of the defense that they have and the person that I thought was going to be a quarterback in Malik Willis.
Yeah, I'm it's defense, y'all. I mean, LaFleur has done a great job in squeezing out wins with Malik Willis against Anthony Richardson and Will Levi. So, you know, and you compare that to what Kevin O'Connell did and is doing in Minnesota against 2 playoff opponents that he just beat, and good coaches, at least in Shanahan and DeMeco Ryans is probably up there. But he beat Purdy and CJ Stroud, you know, and so that says something. And CJ Stroud was looking good. Like, you know, you can make an argument he's definitely better than Purdy. He had him looking mediocre. So yeah, that defense is crazy. So imagine what he's gonna do against Malik Willis if he out there. And shit, even fucking Jordan Love. Like
he just coming back. Yep.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I said,
bro.
This is a horrible game to bring Jordan Love back. A divisional game against a hot defense. Like, I'll let Jordan Love sit for another week.
He might got though. This ain't Gardner Minshew though. Like, this ain't some random. This is my franchise QB. I want him to come and win this game for me,
bro. He just is coming off injury, bro. You got a long season. It's only week 4, bro. He gonna have plenty of football to play. And you just won 2 in a row. The last time we played, we lost with him. So at least, if anything, keep going with the momentum.
I'm just with Spike. I think that defense is legit, and I guess we'll find out. Because what they're doing. Like, I'm starting to believe in that defense. I believe in the defense way more than I believe in Sam Darnold.
That Packers defense ain't no joke either. Jair just had a pick 6. True. You know, granted it was against mayonnaise eating boy, but
yeah, it's Will, bro. They own this Will Levi.
That was the easiest pick 6 in the world.
Yeah, it was. These 2 teams get up for each other though. They really do play hard against each other. And this rivalry.
These are second year quarterbacks they're playing. When one didn't even play last year.
Yeah,
come on. Like, what, you know, so this is the game. Let's see if LaFleur is that guy.
So this is
he is. I don't want to say it like that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, because I am with impressed what he's doing. But this is a legit game.
I agree with Nick. This is a coaching game. This is like these are 2 of the premier coaches in the league right now. Like we know who the established guys is with Tomlin and Reed. This is like, okay, these are people that we need to watch out for as far as the Vikings and Green Bay.
Hold on, you said premier coach. Who else had Kevin O'Connell on their top 10?
No, get out of it. What was next again?
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
What'd you have next?
Okay.
I give a damn about Kevin O'Connell.
He's a good coach, people. I'm agreeing with you.
He a good coach.
I'm just saying that nobody else had him in their top 10. So
he ain't top 10.
Yeah, he's doing a good job so far. He's 3-0, but there are a lot of suspect 3-0 teams that we got out here. So
I don't think they suspect like that, but okay.
Yeah. So Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
But that's the picks.
Yeah.
And I haven't posted. I'll post the viewers' picks by tomorrow morning for y'all games. Y'all got to come back though, because well, they can't pick a game to say outside of KC. The games I get with KC, they get, but everybody else, yeah.
Fruity, I don't hate on the Packers. Bro, I tell you, Nick, they hate to hear real shit, bro. I just be trying to bring some balance to the show and call it out.
Anytime I talk about Mike Tomlin, that's how I feel.
Okay,
just like how
there
you
we
feel.
go. It's been a great show, bro. It's been a great show, everybody.
Move on.
Somebody posted that, oh, Josh Allen has only played against the Cardinals defense, the Dolphins defense, and who else? I forgot who else they played. Arizona. Well, one other team. Jaguars.
Yeah, Arizona.
So Arizona, Jacksonville,
Jaguars,
and Miami's defense. But when I bring up Mike Tomlin's wins against teams, it's a problem.
Super chats.
Yeah, super chats. Yeah. Spike about to go to sleep. All right. Rayshawn Davis. Bengals not making the playoffs. Members chat. Appreciate it. 31 months.
I'm screenshotting all the basically. Please flood
keep
the
receipts,
timeline.
Nick. Keep the receipts.
I'm keeping everybody's shit, bro. Kid, you understand how much they been harassing me. I'm almost like Dan Campbell. Somebody gonna leak my address.
Which is a wild ass story, by the way. Adrian Wells, a Cowboys fan, member for 35 months. Appreciate it. Jerry Jones needs to go ASAP. What do you mean by that? Because he is old.
Yeah.
Go where?
Like,
I never understand this. I never understand this. Like that, he's going to go when he dies. That's the only thing that's going to happen.
Kill him off, Adrian.
Adrian Wells, I know you're a Cowboys fan and I appreciate you, but the way that he's going to leave is when he dies. That's the only thing.
I also appreciate the super chat as well. No understanding. Welcome, man. Appreciate you signing up for a member to be a member. Hey, send us a message if you haven't. You get a member's message too, so you can send one in. Commanders going to win the NFC East. Let's have a comment. Look, we can talk about them next week. Let's see what happens.
I'll give you the teasing.
We were really disrespectful not mentioning Jaden Daniels this whole show, but he put on a fucking show.
We
talked about him last night.
Yesterday, dude.
Oh,
okay.
Gotcha.
Go check out
he put on the show.
Hey, listen, y'all don't want to give me my flowers when I need them while I'm still living and shit. When I came up here, went on the ledge, and I said the Commanders gonna be a playoff team. When I said Jaden Daniels is gonna win Rookie of the Year, I said all this stuff. I said
they're gonna win 7 games.
I said he's gonna have a better season than Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams looking like we should have picked Marvin Harrison and kept Justin Fields and probably drafted an offensive lineman instead of Roma Dunze, because ain't no point of having all these wide receivers if we can't even throw the fucking football. But I digress.
Marty McFly, Spike gonna talk about how his team's running a plantation, checking players' meat and shit. Yeah, that was
nowhere not.
What up with that, Lou?
That was crazy. That was crazy.
What up with that, Lou?
I don't know. I don't know. Even like you said, even Jamie Foxx was like, bro, what? Like,
Lou,
is this something y'all doing? All the players? Like, I don't know. Like this, it was some old, like it made sense with the picture that they had him outside of the civil rights shit when he was trying to keep the kids out of school. All that lined up. Like it makes sense that he do that for his evaluation for draft shit, man.
Hey, Ken, the fact that we
like the problem. Go ahead, Nick.
I was gonna say the fact that we let him skate off of being in a legit civil rights pictures holding niggas from getting the education.
That's already bad.
It's insane.
To get that man
and now he's talking about dick size is crazy.
Exact measurements. Like, man, did you how you know that?
And it was so calm, and it was so like it wasn't even a joking, man. It was like, yeah, I do this all the time. So
maybe he was at a Diddy party.
Yeah. He definitely had the baby oil in the locker room, kid.
I bet he mad at Jamie Foxx for recording all that too. He probably never gonna be coming back.
He tried to cut it off.
It's too late.
Yeah. We boys, I'm more worried about the 49ers than the Chiefs. Yeah, the Niners worried too. Absolutely. They are in trouble.
Bro, they
Chiefs
might
are 3-0.
they should have us on their medical staff. We could do a better job than what they got it over there, bro. It's a $1 billion corporation. You can't get your players healthy to last at least 16 weeks, bro. Get the fuck out.
Which is why you can't afford to give away a game you won like that.
Yeah.
You just can't when you have so many players hurt. These are the ones you got to win, and then you dominate when they get back. But either way, FIFO said at the end of the day, so much last week is already next Tuesday.
At the end of the day,
Rob Costa, top of the evening, everyone. Giants versus Cowboys on Thursday. Y'all gonna do a watch party, maybe even a call-in show.
Hey Lou, I may have to tell you to take a nap. You gotta take a nap early.
I'll take an early nap, man. If we lose, it will be a lot of quotable shit on the stream for that night. But yeah, I'll be there. I will be there.
I can't fathom y'all lose because he dominates against the Giants. At least Dak Prescott, but like
I won't lie, I'm not sure. I am not sure. So I will be there though. Rob.
This game in Dallas or New York?
Yeah, we'll probably do like maybe the fourth quarter or reaction, and we can have you hop on, Rob.
I
just
want to say it's
get some light.
Right,
Is it in
don't
New
be
York?
in a dungeon.
Because
I think it's a home game for the Giants.
No, it is. It's in New York.
Yeah, it's a home game for the Giants.
We need FIFO on an episode of With All Due Disrespect. Oh Lord, they really trying to get us shut down.
They really want to cancel, right? As long as y'all don't screenshot none of the stuff, man.
I was like,
Bro, yeah, screen record.
Good thing we talked about the Andrew Schultz shit last week.
People with all due disrespect is me, Nick, and Ken just going all the way in. Is the mic still on style? But going all the way in, is the mic still on style? But it's on Patreon.
People, don't do it, people.
Hey, Lou. Hey,
Oh man.
Him, mute his mic.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, we got so many. No Jerry Jones, no Diddy, no Pauls. Goddamn, we got everything, bro. Like, Jesus Christ!
I was
gotta
just
move
giving
on,
people
bro.
context.
We
I
don't
was
want
giving them context of what it was.
Cupid talking about so much context, you over contextualize. Oh man, Jesus Christ! Oh man, Farmhand Parkinson's, but he ain't gonna shake these allegations, lock his ass up.
Oh man, bro.
Hey kid, oh bro. On the shade room, bro, the comment section was going in on bro. It was like he said he ain't gonna shake and bake this shit, boy. Oh man,
I gotta go read that. Yeah,
bruh.
Situation matters. Jazz destroyed Trevor potential.
I ain't trying to hear all that. We ain't paying. Nah, they want us to throw away Justin Fields, Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Who else on the chopping block, Lou?
Can't shoot him no bill.
If he played,
he got paid.
If he played for
too.
anybody else other than Jacksonville, we'd be shitting on him right now.
And the thing about it is, I know we've been talking about getting paid, but they saying that shit about Trevor Lawrence too. I saw a lot of articles about they saying this motherfucker got all this money, and they went all the way back to the draft interviews when they said that he didn't really care about football like that.
Yeah.
Hey man,
quarter of $1 billion. They invested $250 million into this man.
He Daniel Jones with long hair.
Ain't nobody,
Basically.
exactly, and ain't nobody calling him out. Nobody's been calling him out for real. You get a lot
playing
of
Jacksonville.
called out.
Oh, it's starting now though. The generational talent, number one pick, can't miss prospect, and he hid behind Urban Meyer, and now Doug Peterson came have one. Nah, they about to destroy Trevor Lawrence, and he got money, bruh. Come on,
Good.
yeah, they about to tear him up.
Because if they keep losing to this, like they're gonna have a top 5 pick. Like what are you picking for this team? Like what I know you could probably say offensive line. They got ETN, so you wouldn't say running back. They just drafted the weapon Brian. Like what else would you say he needs to get better? They damn near half their defense is number 1, number 2 picks. So.
Brian Daboll.
Yeah, he needed a new coach.
That's just it.
Bring in Brian Daboll.
I don't know, but nah, it's yeah. Spike, they ain't have to throw the ball because someone ain't set the edge on the left side. Michael overrated. Guess that was during the Cowboys discussion.
Michael Parsons' job is not to set the edge, bro. That ain't what Michael Parsons is going to get paid a lot of money to do. He's going to get paid a lot of money to rush the passer, not set the edge.
How many sacks he got this year?
How about to say, what is he doing that? You keep on talking about that. What is he doing that?
Shamar Shelton, how much hurts paying you, dog?
A lot. A lot.
He ain't
And
bad, man. Hey, look, I just defend him. Go ahead.
Last one. So teams should only be happy about wins when they're blowouts now. Keep that same energy for all teams then.
That's not what we're saying. We're saying I've never seen a football score 15-12. FIFA. When was the last time you seen a football score 15-12 with all that money on that offense? Jalen Hurts, Saquon, AJ, like all that money on that offense, regardless if they hurt or not, bro. You got to score more than 15 points. I'm sorry.
Man, Lou, Michael Parsons got 12 tackles and 1 sack on the season. Is he playing every down, or is he just a rush in?
I told you it's a scheme. It's Zimmer. It's a scheme that they
tackles
run
and
it
1
with him.
sack.
They're moving him all over the field. He's not rushing the passer. He's not sitting in one place to rush
Shooting
the
that
passer.
man some bail, boy.
This man was in coverage. This man was on 3rd down and a lot to go. He was in coverage. Like
Aiden
going against the
Hutchinson.
tight end versus having his hand down and rushing the passer, what he's best at. So
Aiden Hutchinson
they
has
still figuring out the scene.
6.5 sacks. Aiden Hutchinson
He had
almost
four-
got
he
many
had
sacks.
4 in one
Michael
game.
Parsons has tackles.
I'll just say this, Lou. I'll say please for the audience, please go make sure you go support Lou's self-owned business, Bail Bondsman LLC, because he works day and night. Right wing Lou Bondsman's.
Man,
The only issue is it sounds like you're actually giving y'all real legit football reasons though, and not shooting Bell. That's the only issue. Like
My
Exactly.
thing is like what Lou was saying. If everything Lou was saying, I'll say, let me say I agree with him. What does that say about him based on his production, though? If this is what he
It
does
says more
best,
about it says more about the coaching than it does about Michael Parsons.
right. If
If
they're
he did
actually,
the same thing that TJ Watt did every down, then he would be way more effective. However, our defense is so terrible that he can't do that. They can't
but
afford to let him do that.
You're going
if
off of this.
Lou
You're going off
says
of
he's
this.
the best defensive player in the league, then
And
he
I've
would be
seen-
affecting the game.
But
more than
I'm saying this goes back to last year though too. That's what I'm saying. Like he started.
now last
not
year is
throwing-
different, but
That's what I'm saying, like,
if the
this is a
scheme
trend.
this year is different and that's impacted his numbers, y'all have to take that into consideration. That's all.
You know what's different. You know what's different, Ken? The podcast. He on the podcast all day.
Yeah, since he got on that podcast,
Shut the podcast down, bro. Leave that up.
He
to
can
people
stop
that ain't
doing it
got
because
nothing
I don't even know people that listen to that. Like, I ain't
Even doing a podcast, I don't think would change the scheme, but that won't help if they still doing the same scheme. That's all I'm saying.
Make a play. Make a play. You're the best player. Spike said he was the best player in the league. Make a play.
Coach got to put you in a position to make plays. If I got you a middle linebacker and the play needs to be made from the right defensive end position, what am I supposed to do? That's when I start bitching to people about, everybody not doing their job because I'm way out of position playing middle linebacker and I'm in coverage and I'm worried about what the person at defensive end, what I'm supposed to be playing and rushing the passer is doing. And you're telling me, he's not doing his job because you could have did it better than he did it.
Hey, Spike. Hey, Spike. Hey, just ask Shelton to sit down and watch the game with you, so you can see what.
Sit down and watch the tape. You want to get on Reddit? You want to get on Reddit and run a couple plays? Because I can show you why he ain't been as effective as he's supposed to be. We can do that. We can get down there and watch some tape. I can do that too.
Let's go.
All right, man. Well, anyway, man, we appreciate you guys showing up. Went a little overtime tonight, but very spirited conversation. But yeah, man, we'll catch you guys possibly Thursday for a reaction to the game. Giants Cowboys. So big game for you guys, Spike, but a winnable game. But it is a division game. So at least y'all not on 3. But we'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.